Alright, I'm gonna finally attempt to get my Cerberus mount. Do I just hop in the Slimes chat? I'm gonna hop in the Slimes chat. But yeah, I'm excited for this shit. I really don't want to like fuck anything up, so I'm trying to like be cautious about how I move in the Discord, not like in life, but yeah, this is gonna be fun. I've never done DRS, and I probably should have done it like when I was all Bozja'd up. But I genuinely, like, I spent 2 months in Bozja only working on duels. I was not gonna spend any more time. I wanted to play Endwalker, so yeah, here we go.
Hello. Let's see. 40 out of 48. About 4 minutes till start time. I'm gonna make sure everyone's in voice chat before I start explaining. Sorry for the sound effect. I'm about to send a sound effect in the chat, so don't get alarmed.
I'm alarmed.
Damn. Bless you. While we're waiting for everyone to get in voice chat, looks like we're missing about like 2 people at this point, so I think this is probably close enough. Just one more. Gonna wait a quick second.
This is exciting. I mean, this feels like when I
person who's coming.
this feels like when I did
on their way, so
BA for the first time.
Then I'll start explaining.
Just double check and make sure.
That's 46. Cool. All right. Welcome to tonight's Any Prog. Lots of people showed up really quickly. That's pretty nice. I know we do have a decent handful of vets, a whole bunch of new people, so just to make sure that everyone read over the recruitment post and is aware of what's in there, and that you have your holster for the role that you intend to play. Probably gonna queue in about a minute, so I'm gonna make sure that everyone's ready. I'm gonna hit a quick ready check. And I'll probably explain in more detail once we get. Oh, I think we actually are missing one in this chat. That's fine.
Okay, so I'm glad I looked over the resources because that shit straight up says use
before
both
we go in,
things.
you need to organize roles. Should do that outside before we go inside.
I would have been using one at a time.
Easiest way to probably do this is just use the reclear copy paste thing, because
I'm on Primal for this, by the way, too, because Primal actually does it at a time. I can
Carter is going to be our main tank for the night. She's also going to be our shot caller. I'm going to be doing the explaining for tonight. So, Carter, you can say hi. Whoever knows
Hi, hello.
who listens for. Yep, that's Carter. She's going to be main tanking and doing the shot calling for tonight. Celery is going to be our duelist for tonight. She is going to be dueling on Samurai. She is cleared. She's a vet. So you guys will be in good hands damage-wise. Samurai pumps. All right, so in DRS, there's a couple people who will be fulfilling some roles by using certain lost actions. These include Lost Rend Armor, which applies a 10% vulnerability up on the boss for 30 seconds with a 60-second recast, which means that 2 people are going to be able to alternate this to maintain that debuff on the boss the whole time.
On my next run, I'll probably
This can be used by melees, so if any melee would like to be a Rend Armor, please say something now in the Alliance chat. Neoma is going to be our first render, and if someone else wants to rend, you can say so now in the Alliance chat.
I'll do it.
Rend
if
1
literally
means that you're going to be
nobody's-
using it first in the fight, and then Rend 2 basically just means you'll be waiting for the first one to wear off on the boss, and then using yours. And then from then on out, you're just alternating them. So
If
Again,
literally
if
nobody
you
does
are-
it, I'll do
Said
too.
He wanted to
but-
run too, or wanted to run tonight.
Okay.
Sure though. Yeah.
All right, Wobble is going to be renting second. Cool. I think this is missing stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah, this definitely is missing stuff. Within your parties, make sure that you are discussing who is going to be between the tanks. Make sure you're discussing who is going to be
Sorry,
bringing
the mic.
Ether Shield. Ether Shield is one of the actions we have listed in the tank holsters. And once we get to Trinity Avowed, you're going to be slotting Ether Shield and using that to mitigate grade wides. Only one of the tanks is going to need to bring that, so we'll have it slotted during the fight. The other tank is going to bring it as a backup, but make sure the tanks discussed in the parties who's going to be the Ether Shield tank and who's going to be the off tank. As for healers, each healer is going to be using either Spellforge or Steel Sting later on in the instance, but you both are going to be bringing both of the actions, but you're only going to be using one. This just makes sure that in case someone forgets something, that it's still covered by at least one of the healers. Either can be covered by at least one of the healers. Rend Armor is already sorted out. I locked double melee on the party, so there isn't going to be any double dervishes. So I'm not going to explain that. Oh shoot, these images are so good.
Oh, Paul literally made them today.
I know. I saw them this morning. I did see that Allison is on Black Mage. I think you were the one who told me beforehand you wanted to do Flare Star today, right?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
I told them
cool.
to join on a melee
Ooh, This
slot.
is cool.
All right, so that means
For
our
that
Flare
reason.
Star tonight, yep, is going to be Allison. Cool. We'll go over these images to see if there's anything that can shout it out. Yeah, so Fizz ranged, you guys are going to be using the Lost Dervish action tonight. How this works is it's a 90-second recast, and it applies a 60-second long damage buff. It's around totals to about 12% damage, so it's really, really big. You guys are just going to be using this on cooldown. The image says it can be used every 2 minutes, but realistically, it's not a big deal either way for this prog run. I would just say whatever's more comfortable for you, because holding it for the 2 minutes requires you to watch out for the cooldown, and I want you guys to focus on mechanics. And casters, you guys are going to be using the Lost Cure 4 action. How this works is because you have the pure essence of the Elder, there's a special interaction within Delubrum Normal and Delubrum Savage where the Cure 4 is going to apply a 60-second long 10% damage. Since the Cure 4 action is on a 5-second cooldown, this means that you can apply it pretty much at will. So as long as it's applied on everyone in the party, you don't need to spam it. Albeit it is good practice to make sure it's always up. And the other aspect of that action is that it also is a really large heal. So not only are you going to be using this Cure 4 action to maintain this 10% damage buff on your party, but you're also going to try to use it to help your healers out in healing, because it is an exorbitantly powerful heal, and most of the times that one button can handle all of the healing, where the healer can kind of just continue doing their thing. They're pretty much the real healers of this content for the most part. Rending, I already mentioned that. The two Rens know what they're doing. Flare Star knows what they're doing. Just a quick rundown on some of the things that you're going to be bringing in your holster. Light curtains are going to be used a few places in the instance. I'll explain these before we get to the bosses, so make sure that you don't skimp out on adding those to your holster, because they are going to be important. And they're really light as well. So if you have open space in your holster, feel free to fill that with light curtains. Additionally, Lost Re-Razors. I'm sure most of you guys have used these before, but you'll always want to make sure you have one active. If you die during the fight, you want to make sure you pop it once you get back up, because if you hit the floor, which pretty much means if you die and you don't bounce, you can only be raised in a very specific criteria in this raid. Similar to BA, both of these have resurrection restriction within the instance. The ways that you raise inside of DRS are the Lost Arise action. Healers are going to be bringing a bunch of these. There are 5 charge plates, and every time you use Lost Arise on someone, it has a 15% chance of resurrecting them. This resurrection happens instantly. It's not like the normal raises in this game where you have to hit a prompt. If you get a rise and it succeeds, it just gets you back up. So even if you die and you don't bounce from your re-raiser, you want to make sure that you're looking to see if you're getting, or you want to be paying attention to make sure if you are getting arised, then that you can continue pressing buttons and not be like AFK or something, or spacing out. The Lost Arise action, you can slot this and use this in combat to get people up. This is not something we do after the fights. It's also something that you can do during the fights if someone needs to be up. And another way that you can raise in this instance is Lost Sacrifice. The only people we're having bring this for today is going to be the tanks, because there is a special interaction with the pure essence of the Indomitable that tanks have, which is that you have a 50-50 chance. Normally when you use Sacrifice, you get Doom, which means that you'll die to raise someone. But with Indomitable Essence, it's a 50-50 chance. So there's a decent chance that tanks can raise someone with that Sacrifice, and it doesn't kill them. However, it's very heavy. It's 1 charge on the plate, and it's 19 weight. So this is going to be our last resort for a guaranteed raise if we ever need it. The cases in which we will be using this is for healers, since that brings us to our next resurrection method, which is Healer LB3. Healer LB3 can raise people despite that resurrection restriction, but it comes pretty late into most of the fights. Hopefully we'll be seeing that tonight. If not, we might have to hold for that just to ensure we can get those Healer LB3s. That can save us a lot of resources, because all the healers can use that and everyone can get back up, and we don't need to waste a bunch of Arise plates. Yeah, that's what Wobble mentioned. Healer LB3 is also the only LB we're going to be using, because DPS LB is not scaled off of all of these lost actions in your essence bonus. So it's just going to hit like for nothing. It's not ever really worth using ever. Yeah, it's you should just never be pressing it as a DPS tonight. Additionally, Tank LB. It's not true that you will not be using Tank LB, but for the 99% of cases, you should keep your hands off that button as a tank. The only case in which we'll be calling for a Tank LB is if something catastrophic happens that's going to require it. But for now, I'm just going to say, don't take it off your hotbar, but if it's called for, be prepared to use it. Very unlikely, but just keep that in mind. An example of that would be if the Queen's Guard, since we're fighting 2 bosses at the same time, and if they're too close to each other, they can tether, and it can help us save us from an instant wipe.
I think that's the only situation
Yeah,
I've ever
that's
seen
the only one I
a
can
tank
think
LB
of.
called.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I can think of as well. I think that's most of the stuff that needs to be covered. We do need a few more responsibilities. I just wanted to get all of the generic stuff out of the way first. We are going to need a Lost Banish for the Phantom fight. Mikon was quick on the draw for that one, unless they're answering something else. I'm assuming Mikon wants to banish. Yep. Okay, so Mikon's going to handle that. That's going to give us a big damage up during Bozja and Phantom. We are going to need a couple perceptions. Celery, I'm assuming you're going to
We
be
only need
handling.
one. We only need golems.
Is TS and T
Celery
already
will have-
handled?
I think Celery will have it. Owen will do golems.
All right.
as well.
Owen is gonna have golems, and then do we have a TA one?
Me.
You? Okay. Cool.
I'll do
Get all of our
TA.
percepts out of the way. So if you are not one of those people, you do not need to bring percept. What's it called? Shell. We just have shell on all the tank holsters, so.
Yep. And we don't need bubble because we're bringing Aether Shield.
Yep. So I guess that leaves us with just the batteries. So these are mostly just for vets who want to do more damage, but we leverage the Lost Mimic action to have essentially more weight throughout the instance. I'm not going to go super in depth on how it works, but a couple people who choose to do this will be doing this during the instance. We'll be talking about how it, talking about when we need to do it for the people who need it later. So you don't need to worry about it, but we are going to be asking for a few people to bring Fauna Power and Excellence and Fauna Magic and Excellence for a specific few fights. So if you are one of those people and know what you're doing, please shout out now so I can. Yeah, I need to. Can you guys say them again because I don't feel like scrolling up. Do you have a preference for the fights? Melees.
So if anyone's watching that like doesn't play this game, at least one person that I linked this to, one of my party members is asking who they want to partner with. So they're playing Dancer. Dancer
All right,
gets to
Wobble,
pick
I'm gonna have you on QG.
One party member,
TA,
and they'll boost
I'm
their
gonna
damage
do-
by a certain
Did I say
percentage,
Wobble?
as well
I'm gonna have you
as
on QG.
using
Yeah, I did.
abilities
Okay, Kasuli,
that will cast from them,
I'm
their
gonna put you
position,
on
and my
TA,
position as well.
And Art, I'm gonna put you
so
on
it's usually
Queen.
good to put on a melee because
Yuki,
melee
I'm just
does
gonna
a lot more damage
prioritize the
So that's
vets
why
for the night for battering.
that's why they're
but
asking
if
me,
you
but I
do
don't
want to
wanna,
participate
'cause
in
I'm
the
gonna
mimic
get
chaining
die.
and you know what the holsters are, then you can just run the one that has the mimics in it. I don't want to bleed out the new people of their excellence plates. It's the burden of the veterans.
This is the burden of being a vet.
Yeah. And then for magical batteries, we don't necessarily need these, but it's a nice to have, especially since we do have a Flare Star. Albeit if they don't have the magical batteries, they'll still be able to do Flare Star. Not as potent. So if people are interested in magical batteries, I'm assuming by the fact no one said anything now that we probably don't, so I'm just going to assume that we're not. That's totally okay.
And then
I'm
what I
gonna go
believe they're
ahead
discussing is
and post the list of responsibilities.
there's an
in
action
the
called Mimic
DRS
where you can
Learning 1
copy
chat.
somebody
So
else's
these
actions.
are all the stuff I just said. I want to just have these down in one place so I can remember later.
They're determining who's going to have the
That's about it.
actions
So as
that
long as
people
everyone
copy.
has their holsters prepped, I'm gonna go ahead and hit another ready check. If anyone has any questions before you go in, just feel free to shout them out. Don't hit yes, it's ready check if you have any questions, and let me know. Otherwise, just hit yes if you're all good to go.
I am all good
Get
to
on
go.
to the instance.
But yeah, I mean, I don't mind taking the dance partner. I
And
just
this
don't
is
like.
also a reminder because I don't know if I didn't catch him saying this specifically, but the holsters that we have posted in the recruitment post are in fact a requirement.
Yep.
Holster like action usage and proper pure essences are a necessity for DRS to clear. So if we find out that anyone in specific is shirking that responsibility and running a setup that is not one that we are telling you guys to bring, we will probably tell healers to leave said person dead on the ground if
Oh,
they
shit.
are.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like
So
kind of using it.
don't let that be
I
you.
just have like a different.
Just use the holsters
like,
we give
loadout.
you. We tried to make them not too expensive.
I have
you
two
guys are
honored
all-
sacrifice.
You guys seem like you guys should be ready to go.
I think what they're doing is they're accounting for
Let's see
people
one
that don't
X,
have
but it
max
seems like they did ask the question already.
max holster. Because
but
I have
yeah,
max holster, so I can
Pretty
I
much
can
the
bring
answer
two
to
honor
that was
sacrifices.
what Carter said, but depending on what, if you mean font of power at the start of the instance, yeah, you'll need to have one slotted. If you are the, oh yeah, for both of them, yeah, you are going to need a second font of power in your bag to slot later on because around TA, if you're using actions that have 10 charges, such as like font of power, honored sacrifice, these are going to run out of charges around before we pull
TA.
TA. So we're gonna have people reslot around then. So if you have an action that's in your like preloaded, actions, like for example for tank that's Font of Power and Honored Sacrifice,
See,
you do need to have a Font of Power in the bag to slot in later.
here's the thing. I have a resistance pot kit.
And then obviously for the off tank, they have
I don't think they're
that
gonna be
same
mad if
deal
I bring
for
that,
Honored
'cause I
Sacrifice.
have
They can
these
re-up
two.
that. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Yuki?
'Cause I'm looking at the holster. It says
hop on
for
in.
holster for me, it's 1 lost Font of Power, Banner of Honor Sacrifice.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and
each.
queue in. Please
It
hit
says
yes.
3 re-raisers and
40
4 light
people need to hit
curtains.
yes to this.
I have so much more space. Yeah,
Be
I'm
annoying
bringing
when
the
someone
pot.
doesn't press it. And
I'm
then we
bringing the
don't know who it is, so I'm just gonna assume that everyone's ready and gonna hit yes.
I'm hyped.
Glad we didn't have any people get jump scared by the "you are not level 80 to enter this instance."
Oh my god, I can't even. I genuinely forget that that's a thing because I didn't start doing DSR or DRS until I had all of my classes at 90.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too. Though I feel like
Everyone
that was...
has also unlocked DRS. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I actually don't think I actually put that in the. Oh, it was probably in the any Prog required reading. Yeah. I don't know. I don't read the stuff. I just YOLO. You do have to unlock DRS during the PF. That is true.
I want to see if the cutscene's different. It is. It's already different.
All right.
So I'm gonna be on this side.
Welcome into the instance.
This is
First
the
word
door.
of warning. Please do not take either of the glowing pads. These are a one-way pad that takes you down to the slimes and golem slides respectively. We want to make sure that everyone has stuff from that cache that is down there at the bottom of the staircase
I might get
before
rid
they
of the
drop
potion.
down.
It's only 10 minutes.
This cache is going to let you pop your Pure Essence, pop your Eraser, and slot your 2 actions, and then fill back your holster to 99 so that you have stuff for the rest of the instance. You are not able to go back to the Lost Finds cache later in the instance. This is a one-time thing. You can access it, you can take the pad, and then that is it. So you want to make sure that you have a full holster of stuff that you can use later on.
What do they want me to bring, bro?
So after you pop your Pure Essence, pop your Eraser, and slot your 2 actions, you're going to fill your holster back to 99, or however much your maximum is, and then drop down. Regardless,
Yeah, I'm bringing the pot. You said
regardless,
99,
I don't want to have people drop down immediately, so to do that, I'm going... What is the way people set up the markers at the start of the instance? I see people do that, and I just...
I've never
I'd like-
I've never stolen them. I'm just gonna place them.
Yeah. ABC is going to refer to the ABC parties, and then D, 1, and 2 are D, E, and F respectively. Once you have all your stuff popped and you have your holster filled up, please go on those markers. Another thing as well is that if you are on these markers and you are in the party and you are a vet, please take a quick second to mouse over everyone's reminiscence actions just to make sure everyone has everything they need. And if you see someone who doesn't have something they need slotted, please give them a quick nudge and just make sure they know what they're doing. I just want to make sure everyone is on the same page without having to painstakingly go one by one on every single person, because that's a waste of time, personally.
I thought I had 10 DPS. Oops, guess I didn't.
Like I wanted to mention something about the what's it called? Oh yeah, haste gear. If you do happen to have any gear that has the haste effect on it, which in this case is most commonly the Bozja earring, which you get from redeeming 1,000 fragments. Very nice to have. Additionally, the left side, which is the Bozja runner's gear, also very nice to have. If you have these, I guess it's a little late if you have Murder Painter or something, but if you do have them in your armory chest, don't forget to put that on. It's a decent amount of extra damage. It's not like a make or break by any means, but again, it's nice to have.
Well, you can praise actions there.
Pop my
That's cool.
stuff first and foremost.
Bro's just chilling.
I know Cam has already said this, but please make sure you pop your actions that you need. That's in the pop at start of or pop at the box or something.
Pop box at box preload. All of that is the stuff
yeah.
that you're going to be popping and slotting, and then the holster part is what's going to be in your bag before you drop down.
Yes, so you want to make sure that you have your 99 of 99 or whatever your max holster space is. Just please make sure you fill that up because you cannot get back to this box once we take these pads.
Yeah. Again, just another reminder, if you are a vet, please take a look at your party's reminiscence just so we can make sure that no one is confused on what they need to bring. This just makes sure that I don't have to go through every single person one by one. But if you are on the marker, it's assumed that you have your holster filled and have your actions slotted, and you have your Pure and Re-Razors activated. Again, if you see anyone with a Pure or Re-Razor not on in your party, give them a quick poke just to make sure they know what they need to do. We're just going to sit here and wait for the last few people to finish up sorting out their holster. And then once I see everyone on the markers, I'm going to assume that everyone is good to go. And once everyone is good to go, that's when we're going to do the next part of explaining, which is going to be splitting voice chats into slimes and golems respectively.
Alright, so I'm golem
How
party.
that's going to work is there are two sides in this instance that we need to simultaneously to complete to get to Trinity Seeker. On the west is the slime side, and the east is the golem side. Parties A, B, and C are going to be going to slime side, and parties D, E, and F are going to be going to golem side. Both of these are both pretty straightforward. There's only a few people who have particularly notable responsibilities. I'm going to be organizing and shot calling the slime side, and Carter is going to be organizing and shot calling the golem side. So we're going to go ahead and have everyone who is in parties D, E, and F switch voice chats to the golem's voice chat, which is directly below the one we are in right now. Once I see 24 out of 24, or 24 people in that golem's voice chat, I'm going to assume that we are good to start explaining. So, just gonna...
Okay, I'm in.
Alrighty, just waiting on a few more people to drop down, I think.
I didn't want to like cut him off and join the other one, but I also didn't want to like, hey, hurry up. You know what I mean? I guess they don't know my name because I didn't change my name in the server. I mean, I'm sure they could figure it out. I'm streaming and I have ninja in the title. Am I the only ninja? Oh shit, I didn't even look. Oh, I should have looked. I hope I'm the only ninja. I don't see any other ones.
I'm also going to I'm not even going to ask because everyone is ready. Okay. Hey, hi, hello. Welcome, Golem Gamers. At this point, if you have checked your party, you have your Pure, you have your Re-Razor, you've got your actions popped, and you've got your 99 of 99 ready to go, you can, in fact, jump on this path right next to me down here on the east side. This is for parties D, E, and F. If you are not in parties D, E, or F,
Bro, I am
and
the
you
only
can hear my
ninja.
voice, you are in the wrong call. At this point, please, 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 grab what you need, do anything you need at the box last minute, and then go ahead and jump on that pad and go to the side where I will explain how Golem's side works.
I gotta figure out how I want to use my actions. I might just pop them at the same time. What's the cooldown? 30 seconds. 15 seconds.
Alrighty,
I'll do it
and...
before heal show.
Awesome. You guys even knew which golem to leave for me. I love it here. Both traps north. Awesome. Thank you. I don't have to organize anything. This is fucking awesome. That's not true. Can I get one more healer to go stand with Umbra Ivalis?
Ivalis.
And with that said, everyone else is ready to go. We have
Ivalis.
our tanks all in their spots. I will explain how we're going to do this.
More people need
So,
to go.
let me go ahead and place some markers down. So, we have our stuff in position over here to do a very specific goal, which is to clear the golem side. This is not a mechanically intensive fight. This is not something that has a big, scary DPS check. This isn't even a fight where we get LB3. This is just an encounter where we are trying to solve a puzzle. Slime side has a similar situation. They're trying to solve a puzzle over on their side, and the goal is that we both solve our puzzle at around the same time. The puzzle on this side, if you would like to look to the north of us, there are 4 rooms up ahead of us, and each room has a different colored pad on it. The goal of this encounter is to kill a golem of each color on their respective pad. Now, you might ask, well, there's only 2 different colors down here, and that's because each of these colored piles of rocks are going to sprout up when we open that door and start hitting the tanks that we grab them. I do not need a red interrupt. Yes. Each of these golems will need to be picked up by the tank that is standing on them, and they will be taken to their respective rooms, except for Luz and myself. Luz will be on our white golem, and I will be on the red golem.
Okay.
This is because all of the golems have a set rotation of mechanics they like to do before they want to do a skill called Metamorphose, which will turn them to the next color in the order. Said order is blue to white to green to red. Coincidentally, that is also the order we will be killing the golems in. That is just because we have a lot of people today, and sometimes we change that order depending on if we are a bit low man, but that is not the deal today, because we have a full 48 in this instance. What Psycho solo tanks red golems while calling? It's very easy, actually.
So, red golem has to be
because I'm on
Mario
the red
Kart
golem,
around the
I
arena.
always have a call out to tell you when to interrupt.
So, in the red room, they're gonna literally
So,
spin it around
I'll
the
explain
pad.
what each golem does.
Alright, they're gonna
Actually,
talk
I'll
about
explain a little bit more about Metamorphose. Metamorphose is a cast bar that can be interrupted, that each golem will cast to turn itself to the next color. So, the tanks on the golems that do not need to change color will be pressing their interrupt, which is interject. That will interrupt the cast bar and let you keep going. What each golem does now, I'll go over that really quickly. The blue golem, it does a heavy hitting bleed buster on the tank tanking them. So Mint and Luz, the healers with you guys will need to pay attention to you. You'll need to press some mitts before that tank buster, and then the healers will need to Asuna you. So to Sunday and Own, if you guys do not have Esuna on your bar, please put that on there. There are some healers who I've seen who don't have it on their bar, and they scare me.
I love the way she pronounces like Final
You'll
Fantasy
need to
terms.
Esuna that. I will call it. I will
Esuna?
call out when to do that.
I mean, it sounds pretty. Asuna.
And then we will, and then I'll move on to I'll call what white is. The white golem doesn't do anything scary other than once it hits 30% HP, it will start to cast a skill called Compaction. What we need to do is just kill that before it finishes casting Compaction. You know, I did kind of lie. I said there was no DPS check. That's kind of a DPS check. You're just going to pop your 2 minutes on that. You're not going to use any lost actions. Do not use any lost actions here. We want to hold them for the rest of the fights where they will actually matter. The white golem just casts Compaction. I will just tell you guys to burn that bitch down and kill the white golem once it is all done.
Alright, fuck it. I'm just gonna 1, 2, 3 on the blue one.
Once that is done, you guys will move up to the green room. All the green golem does is it just likes to auto the tank that's tanking it, and if any of the non-colored golems, which are going to be handled by William and Wobble, if any of the non-colored golems get into that room near the green golem, it will eat them and start killing the tank. It gets if the non-colored golems get into the green room and get absorbed by the green golem gets a very heavy damage up, which makes its auto attacks hit basically for a tank buster every auto. It is not fun. But we have 2 people who have been on a lot of runs doing our hallway golems, so I don't need to explain that. There are going to be non-colored hallway golems spawning throughout all of this. And I will just ask you guys to AoE those down every once in a while, usually either before the green room or after the green room. And then the last room is the one that I'm doing. The last golem that I am doing is the red one. The red golem, once I let it turn red, will start chasing me around. It'll tether to me and it'll start walking very slowly towards me. If it autos me, I will probably die. So the idea is I will not let it auto attack me, and I will just slowly kite it around my room. And anytime I need to interrupt it, I will dash back in, press my interrupt, and run away. I do not need to do anything special about this, and it's just kind of me walking around. The one special thing about the red golem that I will mention is we are not going to kill it immediately. We are going to bring it down to about 20%, and I'm just going to ask you guys to wait on damage because we want to make sure we want to not start our sides in a rage sequence before
okay.
slime side is ready, just because it's a lot easier for me to just walk around and kite the red golem than it is for us to deal with the faster spawning hallway golems.
It's like Droid if you're
as well. It's like we have OnlyFans who is going
CLL
to be percepting for us. The traps are both
kill
north,
them at the same time.
So I'm gonna
Or else you
post
just
an
get a bunch of
image
ads.
in here.
Body.
Actually, wait. I'm gonna do slash.
And then
guide
they will eventually kill everybody.
golems.
Like I think it's
Does that
after
work?
like 3 minutes or something.
Oh my god,
is
it
the
works.
rage.
Okay, so as you'll see, this guide image that I have just posted in DRS Learning 1 has that image of where each of our tanks is going to be dragging their golem, as well as potential locations for traps. OnlyFans has done some pre-percepting and has found out there are no traps in the blue or white room, but there is always a trap in one of those 3 spots in the middle of the hallway. And then, because we know that there are no traps in the blue and white room, we also know that there is going to be 1 trap in the green room and 1 trap in the red room. So, please, please, please be careful. Do not run ahead of the Perceptor. Wait for the Perceptor to find our traps, and I will tell you when you guys can move on. Other than that, if there's anything that I missed or anything that you guys have questions about, please let me know in Yell chat. Otherwise, you can go ahead and give me a ready check in every party, and once we're all ready, I will tell Cam that we are ready on slime side or on golem side.
I think this is the server that for the clear video that I watched, because I'm looking at the Discord and I'm recognizing names. Like I recognize some of these names from the video. Okay, so blue cross over to white. There are no traps, so we just walk.
E is ready.
Trap in the
D
middle,
is ready. Just waiting on
traps
1
up
in
north.
F, and I will let them know.
Okay. I'm excited. This is fun. I'm not like. It's amazing how T has made me
We might
like
be waiting here for
not
a moment.
nervous.
Slime side does have a lot more to go over than us. It is a much more involved encounter than this.
If this was BA, like when I did BA for the first time, I was like, my hand was shaking. And this, I'm just like, man, I got it. I'm probably gonna die, but I got it. The only thing I still need to do in T is like actually not be a bad player and relearn my 80 rotation and then go back in and reclear so I can get a better parse. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Now that I looked at it, like my rotation was awful. I was like triple weaving my opener. It was bad. I was doing water, Kasat's 1 mug and Bunshin trick attack. Oh god. That's embarrassing. I completely forgot how to play at level 80. But I'm pretty sure it's water, Kasat's
cool. Okay,
1,
that is
2 mug, Bunshin 3 trick,
Golem's ready.
Kyosho dream.
So
right time?
we're gonna be waiting here for a bit. To those of you who are new to DRS, welcome, I guess. This
Thank
is an awesome raid. I joined it because I wanted to get the funny mount, and then I was like, I'll keep going because I want to get the armor. And now I've been here for a year and I have over 100 clears.
Fuck yeah,
Don't
dude.
forget, you're
I
here
hope you guys have
forever.
a blast. Yes, you will be here forever. I hope you guys have a blast. If you're ever stressed about making any kind of mistake, I guarantee I have probably made it. I have made basically every mistake there is to make in DRS.
I unavaunted into the wall at Queen once. It was awesome.
Damn.
Yeah, I've God, I'm trying to think. What's like the stupidest way that I've died? Oh, I mean, there was the time that I was playing fucking Samurai and I tried to uptime chest 1, and I got hit 3 different times in the span of 2 seconds and died immediately.
All right. Well,
No, it only can hit you twice.
Yeah, no, I know.
You gotta be like on the cross.
Yeah,
On the center of the cross.
believe me, I was. Okay, so what happened was I took both hits of North Swain, and before the Doom could kill me, I backstepped and I got hit by the soldier marching. Wait, that's so awesome. Oh, there was the time that I had excellence on, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna sweep traps for one of the tanks at Minnow, like as a joke." And then I was on Dragoon, so I popped excellence, and then I backflipped, and I forgot what angle I was facing, and instead of like backflipping, you know, down the line, instead of backflipping like where I wanted to go, I forgot how far it went, and I shot a little too far and went into the outer ring and died.
my window.
It was like Lynn was just cracking up the entire time.
These guys seem chill.
Dragoon backflip is
I'll fuck with
weird
this group.
because your character takes their time to turn.
Yeah. Oh, see, that's where you're wrong, because I play really fucked up, and I can only turn my character by moving my mouse.
Ah, nice. I use Legacy.
So we're chilling, waiting for the other side.
Remember
to get
when I became main
everything.
tank as a healer? God. Yeah, so during one of the bosses here, I don't think we'll do it
That's
today,
recent.
but this was very recent actually. This was like 2 weeks ago. There's a boss that trips a lot of new players up that some hosts like to do a practice pull of, where they have a few vets they have a few vets go in, like only like 3 or 4, and just do all of the mechanics for a fight so everyone can watch and see how they actually play out, because it is a little bit tricky your first time if you haven't seen them play out. So it was just me and the host of that run. He was a paladin, and I was an Astro, I think. I might have been a white mage. I don't know. I was on a healer. Yeah, I was on a healer. That's all that matters. At one point during the pull, a mechanic goes off, and I'm like, wow, I'm taking a lot more damage. Is there a bleed on that I didn't realize about? No, I was just taking auto attacks because for some reason the host didn't have stance on, even though he was the main tank for the run.
Damn.
And I died. And he was like, LOL, laugh at this loser. She died. No. Was not my fault.
Oh shit, food. Oh shit, I didn't even food, bro. I didn't even
check.
food.
Oh, slime's ready. South of the north. Okay, awesome. At this time as well, just a reminder to the tanks. I'm gonna check just to make sure you have stance on. You have stance on, and you have stance on. Awesome. Congratulations. You passed the vibe check. I'm gonna just shout. We are good to go. They're going to start a countdown in a moment.
Controller isn't working.
This is a good time.
Plug
If
it
you
in.
are tanking something here, you can pop some food. Food gives you 10% vitality, which is 10% extra max
I'm gonna save my
health.
pot for the
It's a
first
big
boss.
deal, and it helps a lot.
Again, I don't really know what the
Vitality
damage
will
looks
be
like
useful in all fights, but I only mention specifically people who are tanking things because we will probably be talking Eternity Seeker for a little bit, and I don't want you guys to waste food. I'm gonna go ahead and open the door at about 3 seconds, and then we'll be good to go.
I gotta remember not to run ahead. They're going to trap. Or scout for traps.
And once again, please, please, please wait for the Preceptor to find our traps. Everyone can go ahead and run to the blue room and start killing the blue golem. There's a poison in the green room.
I'm not even gonna use jutsu, bro.
And go ahead, start killing that blue golem.
Because we gotta save our 2-minute for
Tanks can press some mitts. Healers be ready to Esuna them.
Why does she say it like that? It's...
Do not relog right now, you will die if you are in the middle of combat. Head over to that white room. Interrupt if you are the green tank, otherwise let this resolve.
oh god, okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna 1, 2, 3. There are no positionals, it looks
You
like.
will be able to relog after we are done with this encounter, though. Do not worry. Just do not relog in the middle of combat. Compaction, kill it down. Wow, you guys are DPSing that really fast.
We're going to green
And
room.
go ahead, give those hallway golems some love. And then head up to the green room.
You get kunai.
Interrupt if you need to.
We're
That was
good.
super late. I don't know why I called that. I'm stupid. And go ahead, start killing that green golem. It's not going to do anything special. Awesome. And go ahead, start burning
Watch
down
the
the
trap.
red golem. Do not use any dots. Do not use any dots. And I'm going to call for a hold at about 25%.
I'm going this way.
Please, please, please watch out for that explosive trap as well. You do not want anyone to die.
Yeah, there are no positionals. I don't gotta do shit.
Also, start building gauge. Yeah, build an E-gauge. Also, stop damage on the red golem. Stop damage on the red golem. We're gonna wait for a rupture call from Slime side, but at this time, go ahead and just kill those hallway golems. Build an E-gauge you might need.
I'm just gonna maintain, like this is gonna be terrible from a ninja perspective, but I'm just gonna maintain Uton on these guys.
And that is a rupture call. Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead. You guys can start doing a bit more damage to this guy.
I'm staying on the wall,
And
bro.
I'm gonna pull
It's
out my
gonna kill
info and
me.
pull it onto the pad. Kill, kill, kill. Kill, kill, kill.
Nice.
And great job. Hallway golems are going to start spawning at an increased rate. Pull them into the middle of the room. If you see it casting Demolish, stun or sleep it. White mages, this is your time to shine. We pull these into the middle of the room. That way AoEs can hit all of them. And very simply,
Good shit.
one shot. Great job. Go ahead, make sure no one in your party is dead or DC'd. And you can go ahead, jump on that pad. I would jump on the pad and jump up to the next voice call, and then you can join, relog, yes. And, like I had
Awesome.
mentioned though, go ahead, jump up to the next voice call, grab your 2 chests at the bottom of the stairs. I cannot grab those for you.
So just some nice bonus.
Finesse.
And here we are at Trinity
Divinity.
Seeker. This is the first boss of the instance. This is the first major boss. So this means we will have healer LB3 for this boss. And this is the first fight where we are going to be using our lost actions. Lost actions are a large part
Like
of your
AJ.
damage. These super buff, they're basically super buffs for your DPS, and you are going to be using them as much as you can to ensure that we can blow up these bosses pretty much.
I'm gonna
How
pop
this
them
works
before heal shield.
is for melees who are using Fawn of Power and Honored Sacrifice, you're going to pair these together every 2 minutes and line them up with your 2-minute burst. So, for example, on Samurai, this will be like your Sene, your Hisatsu Sene, or for Reaper, you'll put your Arcane Circle and your Shrouds into them. This big burst combined with these lost actions is going to do a shit ton of damage. As for Fizz ranged, you guys have Fawn of Power and Dervish. Dervish is just going to help out the party, so you're going to be using that as much as you can. And the Fawn of Power, again, you can line those up with your 2 minutes. So for like Machinist, you'll be using like Wildfire. Or actually, we only have Dancers. So Dancer, you'll put like your Tech Step in there and your Flourish.
Is it only dancers? Is there
Yeah, it is only
bar in
Dancers.
here?
Yeah, we love to see it.
No, I hate that.
Oh,
My
that's fire.
hearts.
And then last, casters, you guys are going to have either Chain Spell in Cure 4 or Fauna Magic in Cure 4.
Being a caster here is probably really fun.
You're just going to be lining up your Chain Spell or your Fauna Magic with your 2 minutes. So for like a Red Mage, this is going to be your Embolden and your Manification. For Summoners, this is like your Bahamut or your Phoenix and your Searing Light. For Black Mage, that's Ley Lines. Even though Chain Spell has a 90-second cooldown, you do want to hold that for your 2-minute burst, since it's stronger to do that than to use it on cooldown. So basically, TLDR, lost actions, every 2 minutes we're going to be using them and just doing shit tons of damage. These are very important, as this boss does have an Enrage. If you've never done any extreme or savage level content before, an enrage is basically a time limit on the boss, and it's either we kill it by that time limit or it just insta kills everyone. Next thing to mention is going to be twice or thrice come ruin. This was in Delubrum normal, but I'm going to give a quick refresher on how it works. Thrice come ruin basically is a stacking debuff that you get whenever you fail a mechanic, but leaves you alive. If it just kills you, then you're just dead. If a mechanic hits you and you don't die, you'll be left with a thrice come ruin stack. This is a stacking 3% damage down, so every stack is another 3% damage down, which doesn't sound like a lot, and it really isn't. I mean, but once you accumulate 3 stacks, you are given a doom, and it will just kill you. It cannot be cleansed. You will just die.
3% is a lot.
So
100% damage down.
Yeah, and dying is a 100% damage down. We don't like that. So it's very important that you focus on resolving mechanics. This doesn't mean that you should just drop everything and just like do the entire fight without pressing any buttons, but if you do need to just drop up time and just resolve mechanics, you are more than welcome to.
3% is a lot if it's permanent. That's what I mean.
The damage tech is not very high. There is a pretty high high leniency to get through with deaths. So don't worry too much about if you die or if you miss some damage or uptime. But we do not want to spend the whole fight with a bunch of people dead. So do try your best and listen closely to the callouts. But of course, callouts aren't going to make sense if we don't explain the fight first. So I'm going to run you through some of the major mechanics that are in this fight. This boss likes to combine these mechanics together. I think it's best if you just see the mechanics and see how they are combined, but understand the individual parts. So I'm going to walk through those mechanics. These are mechanics that appear in normal mode. However, they do happen a bit faster, and they do miss some telegraphs. So First off is Fourfold Mercy. Seeker is going to show 4 glowing swords in a certain order, and then slash in that order with these ginormous half-room cleaves. In the normal mode, you could kind of just stay center and like shimmy around its hitbox, dodge these without having to memorize the pattern. But here, they happen so fast that by the time the AoE has appeared on the ground, you're already getting hit by it if you were inside of it. So I am going to call out the order that those swords appear in. For example, if the Seeker were to show a northeast and northwest sword and then a southeast and southwest sword, I would just say stand north for 2, stand south for 2. That is the easy pattern, where basically you're on the same cardinal direction twice, and then you just move to the other cardinal direction. There is a harder pattern, which is basically what we call a crossover pattern. In this case, I'm going to be saying the directions in a bit of a staggered way. So for example, you would start west, go east for 2, and then go back west. I think there's a nice image that kind of shows these patterns better. I don't know anything about the bot, so I'm just going to be guessing. Thank you. I don't know these guide commands. So that first image thank you. That first image shows the easy pattern. So in this case, there's 2 AoEs heading south and then 2 AoEs heading north. In this case, you just stand north for 2, and then you stand south for 2. The second image shows that crossover pattern. So you can start north. Oh yeah, that actually shows a later mechanic where the clone does it on the wall. I'm not going to touch on that until we get to that because it can be pretty much shot called as we see it. But just to keep in mind, there is a few patterns for this mechanic. So as long as you just listen to the call out and move how I say, you will be fine. The third image is the next mechanic. Next mechanic to explain, not the next.
This one always
the
kills me.
timeline. Seasons of Mercy. How this works is there is going to be a orb and a lotus that spawn on a random inner cardinal. The orb is a look away that you have to look away from. It is a gaze mechanic. And there is a lotus that is going to expand at the end of the mechanic and do a large AoE. This is also combined with crisscross AoEs. These are just going to be stand in the safe spots. And then after the first set go off, the cross sections are going to now be the safe spot. So pretty much just look at the floor, dodge the ice, and look away from the gaze. The next, those 2 mechanics are the basically the samurai phase of the boss. The next phase of the boss is the Dark Knight phase of the boss. This one has the there's two variations of the attack it can do. There is the one where everyone is going to need to hide behind these barrier objects that are on the arena. The boss is either going to make us knock back into these, get knocked back into these, or we're going to need to hide to avoid the AoE. The way we tell the difference is it will cast something called Phantom Edge, and basically that just means Phantom Edge, you'll hide, or Phantom Edge, you'll get knocked into the barrier. Not Phantom Edge, you'll hide behind here. I'll just call either get knocked back into a barrier or hide behind a barrier. Another mechanic that it does during its Dark Knight phase is going to be comets. If you have ever done the Ifrit fight, I hope you have. God, I hope you have done Ifrit at some form. There's like 20 Ifrit fights in this game. It is going to place comets around the edge of the arena, and these comets are going to do Ifrit-style dashes through the arena. So basically, we are just going to stand next to the what's it called? Adjacent to the first one, and we are just going to move into it and kind of follow around them as they do the dashes. So I'll just call these markers that are on the ground to say where to go, and then we'll just move around the edge of the arena. That's pretty much it for the Dark Knight phase in terms of major mechanics. The last phase is going to be the Monk phase. The Monk phase uses the rings that are on the floor of the arena. It is going to jump to one of these rings, and it is going to make it start glowing, the one that it is standing on, and that color is going to have the rings explode. So if the boss jumps to the blue, for example, the blue brick is how I will refer to it, and the brown sand, or yellow sand, I don't know what I'll say in the moment. I actually won't say either because Carter is calling it how she is going to call it. Do you have a preference for how you say those? Because I don't want to say the thing and then you say something else.
Say what?
How you refer to the blue brick and the yellow sand.
I say brick, blue stone, and yellow sand.
Yes.
Also, wait, you said... Wait, okay, see, you said north, south. I just assumed you were calling because you said that. I call boss relative.
Oh, well then, in that case, for the fourfold mercy mechanic that I mentioned earlier, Carter is going to be calling those relative to the boss, so... You can explain really quickly how you say that, because I don't know what that entails.
Yeah, I call relative to the direction the boss is facing. I will be main tanking, so I will be trying to face the boss towards a cardinal direction at all times. I will mostly be trying to face it north. However, there are some times where it gets twisted a little bit weird going into a fourfold, and I will need to call the safe spots based relative to the boss's hitbox instead of true north, just because it makes it easier for bad situations like that. So, I will call something like right, right, left, left, or front, back, back, front, or something of the sort. When I say right, I do not mean your right, I mean the boss is right. So if the boss is facing north, right is still east, but I will always call boss relative, and I will try and give a direction during times where I'm calling boss relative and we are moving.
And then back to where we were on the monk phase, one of the attacks that the boss is going to use is going to be Earth Shakers. Basically, 3 random people are going to get tethered with a spike over their head, a yellow spike, and if you get one of these, you just want to face it away from the party. They are cone AoEs, and if you stack them, you will die. So just try to spread out these yellow cone AoEs and face them away from the party. These are big cones, so we do want you to just drop uptime and run away from the boss. If you get one of these, you do not get uptime if you get one.
Fine by me. I don't give a shit about uptime. I'm trying to live.
The boss is going to combine these in various ways. For example, the first fourfold mercy will go directly into a Seasons of Mercy, so you'll need to be on your toes and just react quickly to the calls. Another example is those comets are going to be combined with hiding behind a barrier, the comets are going to be combined with the fourfold mercy, and there's many examples like that in the fight, and it would be too exhaustive to go through every single permutation, so just listen closely to the callouts and you will not die. We do have our main tank does know what they're doing. There is a few tank busters with some special effects. The only one that I'm going to mention that is notorious for the fact that you can actually conflict with it is there is going to be a tank buster where Carter is going to need to be the only person hit by it. If it hits anyone else, including her, then it is going to just knock back everyone and just throw them into the wall. So if you hear solo buster, please respect that it is a solo buster and not an opportunity to go hug Carter and get her killed. And
If
yourself
you're a
killed.
tank buster at all, just stay away from me. I'm tanking all of them solo.
Yep, and she has a ignore one over your head just so you know who to ignore. Trying to think if there's anything else
Fine by
notable to
me.
mention. Those are all the big points, pretty much.
But yeah, tank stance off if you're not me. That's a good note.
That's a
forget to
good
call
note.
that.
Yeah, do not have your stance on right now, just so aggregate doesn't get stolen. Let's see. Went over the actions, went over the major mechanics. Should be pretty much it. Oh yeah, another thing to note. The death wall. If you get thrown into the death wall, which is this outer ring at any point in the fight, it will kill you, obviously, instantly. But if you do have a re-raiser, you will bounce in the death wall. Do not be scared. If you do bounce in the death wall or get re-raised in the death wall, you will not instantly die. You will have a status effect similar to Transcendence that will basically let you calmly walk out of the wall as long as you do not press any buttons. Do not press sprint. Do not press like second wind or anything.
Gap close.
Calmly walk out of the wall and you can continue fighting. Once you're out of the death wall, then you are just safe to continue what you were doing. Additionally, if you die in the death wall and you hit the floor in the death wall and a healer tries to use Lost or Rise on you, this will do the same thing where you will just get rezzed without any consent and you will just need to walk calmly out of the death wall. If a healer is trying to arise you in the death wall and you were like tabbed out or you were like went AFK and you just die instantly again, that healer is going to be very sad because they used their hard-earned Lost or Rise plate on you and you just wasted it. So don't do that, please. Yeah, that's another thing. Healer LB3. The healer LB3 will come up around like 5 to 6 minutes into the fight. So there is a chance if the damage is good enough that we may just completely not see it. However, if we are close enough to it, and by close I mean like within like maybe 20 seconds of it, then we are not going to either within 20 seconds of it or it will come up after a mechanic that we are resolving. Then we will hold DPS and not kill the boss so that we can use that. However, if we are like 40 seconds away from it, chances are if we just try to resolve the mechanic, people might die, healers might die, and then we might not be able to use the healer LB3, so we're just going to commit and kill the boss. So if Carter says to commit, then we're committing, and if Carter says to hold for damage, we're holding damage and not hitting the boss. So just make sure you follow what she says so we don't waste resources.
Wiggle so you don't get AFK kicked.
Yep. Oh yeah, the wiggle. That was the thing I forgot. Yes, there is a 10-minute instance timer in here. If you are AFK for 10 minutes, you will get kicked from the instance just instantly without any notice other than like some little things in your chat box saying, oh, we lost one?
I lost one in my party as well.
That is unfortunate. Yeah,
You do
that's
talk
my bad,
a lot.
Brett. Yeah. That is my bad. I should have mentioned that.
Wobble was saying it in shout, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. But other than that, that's pretty much all there is to need to know for Seeker. Carter is a very good caller, so just listen closely to what she's saying, and you will be successful.
Rip. See you next week. And I'm playing.
Other than that, if you are ready, please get in behind the C marker.
Oh god, that's
off
funny.
The outer ring, which is the death wall.
That's good.
All right, we're going to be using 30-second countdowns for this instance. So whenever Carter is ready, she is going to hit a 30-second countdown.
Oh god. We lost 2 people because they were just chilling.
And I'll let her take it away.
Hey, hi, hello. I'm gonna be the one calling this fight.
All right, my
Like Cam
seatbelt was
said,
fastened.
turn your stance off if you're not me. Otherwise, we're gonna get into this. Fight starts us off with a raid wide. Do not press too many buffs. This fight does have a notorious issue for buff culling. We have a lot of buffs that we cannot get rid of, and you are only allowed to have 30, so do not press too many extraneous mitigations or healing spells. Let's get into it.
Or no positionals.
Raid wide.
I'm not level 90.
And first fourfold mercy. Easy, we're going right of the boss for 2, then left for 2. Right for 2, then left for 2. And get to the left. Look away from 1. Look away from 1. We are moving away from 4. Look away from 1. Move towards 2.
No! Oh my god, every
everyone
time.
get inside the boss's hitbox. Inside the boss's hitbox. Front and back is safe, but inside is the safest. I'm going to hold the boss facing out towards this barrier. You are not going to stand near me. No one is going to stand near me. And continue to stay away from me. This is that solo buster you are not allowed to stand near me during. And boss is going to jump middle, and we're going to have some Ifrit dashes. First, we're going to stack up, bait and break some chains. Ooh, bait, break chains, get out, out, out behind a barrier. Out behind a barrier. Sorry, I lost my timeline a second. Out behind a barrier. And get back in. Now we're going to have those Ifrit dashes. There we go. And we are going to be getting out towards 2, out towards 2.
It's full downtime.
We're going to be getting out towards 2 and hiding behind the barrier at 3. Rotate over and hide behind the barrier at 3. And get back in, hit the boss. Stack up on the 3-way mark. Stack up on 3.
Oh shit. There you go. I forgot to use my buffs.
And stay stacked. We're going to get some baited line AoEs. Once these lines appear under your feet, stop standing in them. Stop standing in this. The boss is going to jump to do an iron splitter in just a moment, and we are going to be getting on blue, brick blue stone. Get on brick blue stone, then immediately intercard of the boss. We are pushing again. Get intercard of the boss. Max melee is safe but scary. 3 and 4 are very safe.
I don't
And I'm gonna
fuck
be
about
pulling the boss
uptime.
back middle.
I'll agree, but I don't care about my uptime.
And we're going to have more Ifrit dashes. This is going to be Ifrit dashes into a 4-fold mercy. We're going to be getting out near 3, out near 3.
Oh shit. Ah, fuck.
This is a crossover. We're going to be going front of the boss for 1, back of the boss for 2, then front again. Front, back, back, front.
I'm
Back
hit.
for 2.
I'm hit.
And go back to the front. Look away from 1, get away from 3. Look away from 1, now move towards 1.
Woo!
And stack up, bait and break these chains. Bait these chains together. Now snap the chains. Pulling the boss back middle, and we're gonna have a raid wide.
I'm fainting. Oh, somebody did already.
This is going to be a solo buster on me. Stay away from me if you want to live.
I gotta reset my cooldowns. Oh my god, I'm at 2 stacks.
And we are going to have rings into a 4-fold mercy. We're going to face the boss south right now. And front for 2, back for 2. Front for 2, back for 2. This is not south. Oh my god, I have misoriented. Front for 2, back for 2. Get on brick. Under the boss is safe. Brick under the boss is safe. Front for 2. Now move to the back for 2 and end on sand. End on sand. End on sand. And stay on sand for 1 more. Stay on sand for 1 more. We're going into seasons. Look away from 3. Look away from 3. Move away from 2. We are going to 4. Move to 4. Don't get hit by these lines. Everyone can get inside the boss's hitbox. First is a raid wide though.
Oh, my buff fell. I'm just gonna reapply.
Cam, how is LV3 looking? I can't see.
We are like half a bar away and no one.
Okay, don't hold. Don't hold. Everyone stay inside the boss's hitbox. Kill the boss. Inside the boss's hitbox, front and back is safe, but inside is the safest, yada yada yada. Hit your buttons, kill the boss, we will not see any more mechanics.
Nice. I'm just gonna use rights on here. Alright!
And good job.
Prog.
Our duelist is going to go ahead and percept us all the way up to the Dahu arena. We are not going to go towards Dahu, and we are not going to touch that orange glowing pad in the back behind those traps. If you see someone eat a poison trap during this raid, do not worry about them. They know what they are doing. They are getting their girl dinner for the night. And all traps have been found. Stay away from these traps, and do not enter the Dahu arena. Do not enter the Dahu arena. We are going to wait for the duelists to do their thing, get up to the duel arena and pull the duel, because if we pull Dahu before the duelist starts their encounter, they will lose it, and we will lose a duelist, and it'll be really sad.
Yep. I can pick up on Dahu from here. So, alright, so our next boss fight is Dahu. This is the first trash encounter in the fight. Do not care about this countdown. This countdown is for the duelist. There is a 1v1 encounter inside of this instance that is over near the exit of Trinity Seeker that we passed by. There is a gold pad that one person can take. If they win this duel encounter against the Stygimalok Warrior, which is a Minotaur dude, if you kill him and succeed in this duel, then you get a 100% HP and basically a 100% echo buff that makes you super strong.
Jesus.
Makes you basically the main character of the run. Once the please don't pull it. I'm probably not going to explain this boss very much because it is a very simple, very similar to normal mode trash boss fight. So we're just going to kind of rely on Carter's great calls to get through this very quickly and very easily. Please continue to use lost actions on this boss. We want to deal damage, and we're just going to disrespect this boss and just pull it right now because countdowns on this pickle are for losers. Again, use your lost actions. We want to kill this dude very fast. Devil Joe looking ass. Move out of the baited AoEs. Oh, Carter, are you muted?
Oh, I'm here, sorry. Yeah, don't stand in orange. Don't stand in orange. Don't stand in orange. Continue not standing in orange. Dahu is dashing straight north. Do not be in his way. Dahu is dashing straight south. Once again, do not be in his way. Get south. Be on the sides of Dahu. Don't get turned into barbecue.
Busted melting.
I'm gonna pull the pickle back middle. And we're gonna continue beating up on him.
Looking ass.
There are going to be line lions dashing around the arena. If you get a number above your head in a moment, you are going to take this out to an ad and kill any ad. Any ad will do, just do not stack this with another person because it gives you a fireball and you will die. And Spit Flame, there's where those numbers are coming in. If you have a number, take it out to an ad and kill any ad. It does not matter which one, just make sure it is any ad and you do not stack it. Continue not standing in orange. We are getting on the left side of Dahu to start. And get to the right side. Get knocked into any safe spot where there is not an ad. This is a knockback to any spot where there is not an ad. You can gap close this if you know how to. I don't really care.
Oops.
What the fuck? Jam? Anyways, get on Dahu's left shoulder. Dahu's left shoulder. Jam, that was sick as fuck. These are spinning flames. We are going to be following Dahu around. The not one is safe for caster uptime. And if you see any ads on me, do not worry about it. There are going to be tethers hitting me, but they are not going to matter. Just focus on the boss. Kill Dahu. I have mitigations. And a healer I trust.
Also, don't forget to build gauge, just so we have it for Queen's Guard after this.
Okay.
So again, feel free to build gauge. You can burn your lost actions, but just save your class gauge. We're just going to finish off this boss and ignore these ads.
Okay, I didn't have my Endbone.
Did you die?
Yeah.
Oh. Are you dead on the floor, or are you good?
Yes. I'm on the floor.
Good Bozo.
I'm not walking until I see somebody.
Alright, we can...
Percept.
Healers, this is the point where you can start using Lost Arise. I guess technically you could have done it on the previous fight. But yeah, after every fight, make sure to sweep off the dead from the ground using Lost Arise. Please do not cast it at the same time as other healers, because if you both cast it and it and one of them raises them, then you have just wasted a cast on the other person. So just do them one at a time. Anyways, we're going to be making our way to the Queensguard Arena. Our duelist Celery has succeeded in the duel,
Nice.
so we are able to continue on.
Percept.
If they do fail, we are able to still continue, but we are down one person since they cannot be resurrected from inside the duel arena, and we lose one of the 2 chests that we get from this boss fight. One of the chests comes from beating Queensguard. One of the chests comes if the duelist won the duel. So yeah, thanks
That's pretty cool.
to Celery for giving us more loot.
I want to
Love
go
see
for the
it.
duel like once, but I want to clear this first.
All
Is
right,
that water?
we are now at Queensguard. Queensguard is the second major boss of this instance. Before we sort out Queensguard stuff, I'm going to go ahead and mark some people. You do not need to worry about this if you do not know what it is, but for people that are doing mimicry, using the Lost Mimic action, if you need Font of Power and Excellence, you can mimic, I think, Wobble. Yep, Wobble has marked themselves with a triangle for Font of Power and Excellence. If you are a caster, I am sorry, we do not have any caster mimic targets. Yep, so that's pretty much it for that mimicry. There is going to be some setup that we're going to do beforehand with the good old North American marker dance. These are going to be for reflection. Reflect is used to reflect orbs at the end of the fight. I don't know what the guide is. Oh, there it is. Cool. A bunch of images have just been spammed in DRS learning ones.
I think this is a healer mechanic, so I don't
DRS
have to.
learning one. Right now, you want to be looking at the one on the bottom. Each of these markers corresponds to one of these sets of orbs that we're going to reflect. Each person is assigned to reflect 2, and the markers correspond to them. You're going to pop a light curtain, reflect 1. You can technically catch 2 orbs with 1 light curtain, but if you need to pop another one, you can pop a second light curtain to reflect the second orb. This happens twice at the end of the fight. There's 2 sets of 2 for each of these people doing reflects. If you are not a reflector, you do not need to care about this. You do not need to use light curtains on these. However, if you see someone, or if you see light curtain, or if you see orbs that have not been, if you see a set of 2 orbs that have not been reflected, or if someone dies that is a reflector, they will call out, hey, like Northwest reflector down, and someone can cover for them. But hopefully, it does not happen. If a reflect is missed, it is not a wipe. It does a raid wide on everyone. That's
Weapons.
pretty hefty, and it applies a damage down. It's
Also
not the
Bozja
end of the world,
King.
but we do not want to have a bunch of these go off, because if too many of them go off, we may just eat shit. Combined with that, there's going to be some other stuff, but I will explain that later, since this is all at the end of the fight. I just wanted to get this out of the way. Also worth mentioning is that Carter has the Lost Dispel action, I assume. Is that why you're on the D, or are you just standing there
Yeah.
because you think it's cool?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I'll have it.
Yeah, so Dispel is going to be used on the Queen's Warrior, as they will cast a boost buff on themselves that can be dispelled. It is a 50% damage
I
up.
haven't even
We
been
want
using
to
my
not
pots.
have that 50% damage up, because believe it or not, a raid wide that has 50% more damage kind of sucks. Yeah, so going into the... Oh, do you want to place your preferred markers now that we're done with the pre-setup? Carter.
Yes, let me place those.
Yep, cool. This fight is a bit more slower paced than Trinity Seeker. That one was a bit hectic and lots of stuff happening, so this one should be a bit more straightforward to explain. The boss is going to open up with this 4-target phase where we can hit all 4 of them. All they're going to do is just spam raid wides until they hit 80% HP. Whenever one of them hits 80% HP, it's going to become untargetable. So all of them have become untargetable. So you're just going to AoE them down. You can use your lost actions in that opener and kill them. That's literally it. Afterwards, once they all have jumped, we are going to be fighting 2 bosses at a time for the rest of the fight. The first 2 bosses that we're going to fight in the first phase is the Knight and the Warrior. These bosses need to be separated or they will tether to each other, making them unable to take damage, and I think it gives them a damage up too. I don't... Tethered makes them do stronger raid wides, right? Yeah, take
yes.
damage too. Yeah, obviously, that's why tethered raid wides suck. Yeah, basically a wipe. Yeah, so the tanks are going to be holding these bosses apart. It is generally easiest if one of these is held center and one of them is on the wall. But before I discuss tanking, we do need a second tank to tank alongside Carter. if anyone would like to be an off tank for this fight. If you do, just let me know now, or just mark yourself with the ignore too. Anyone is welcome to do this. It is not super hard.
If it makes you feel any safer, you will also be taking the mids. Awesome. Thank you, Min.
Yeah, so one boss is going to be kept in the center. One boss is going to be kept on the wall. The knight is going to be kept in the center. Warrior is going to be pulled to the east wall in the first phase. So you wanted to do walls, Carter?
Yes, I am on walls.
Yep, so Warrior is going to be pulled to the wall. Carter's going to grab that one. Mint, you're going to be grabbing the knight and keeping it in the center. The first mechanic is going to be what's it called?
Tether.
Tether, yeah. I should probably explain the usage of the lost actions here. So healers in this fight, you are going to have the lost Spellforge and the lost Steel Sting actions. Between the two healers in your party, you can discuss which one of you wants to use which one. You can slot it in now, or you can use a lot, like some damage in your opener with the damage lost action, then hot swap it to Spellforge and Steel Sting. It's completely up to you. If you have an Arise plate with charges left, you can always slot over that, or if it's empty. Generally, it's nice to keep a Chain Spell and Seraph for the whole instance, since those are your damage. But if you need to slot over that, it's not a big deal. Oh yeah, wiggle check. Please keep moving if you haven't moved in a while. Yeah, so I'm gonna send a quick... Oh, it's already there. Yeah, so the first image that I sent in this big blob of images shows who needs what. The boss is going to cast a tether to the other boss, and it's either going to be purple or yellow. If the boss casts a purple tether, then you're going to click off the purple debuff and apply the yellow debuff on everyone. If the boss casts a yellow tether, everyone is going to click off their yellow debuffs and apply their purple one. When I say click off, that means to remove the debuff. There are macros that can make this easier for you, like if you're on controller, if someone wants to send it. Otherwise, you can just right click up.
I need
just
both.
Be careful because you
so
can
I have
right click off your
for
essence,
both.
and that would be catastrophic. Again, purple needs to be applied to the physical jobs. In this case, it's warrior. All the ones listed in the purple column. Yellow, all those jobs need yellow to be do physical damage, and then there are some jobs that deal hybrid damage. These jobs will need to be applied, get the buff regardless of what it is, because they do mixed damage. So if you are a Paladin, Dark Knight, Ninja, or if you have a Paladin, Dark Knight, Ninja, Reaper, or Red Mage in your party, make sure to apply the buff on them regardless. And if you do not know what, if you cannot remember what the hybrids are, just apply the buff on everyone in your party that is needed.
I'm the only ninja in the
that
instance.
is the fail
So,
foolproof way to do it. That
I don't know about the
just
other
gives
ones,
everyone what they need regardless. Yeah, so that's the first mechanic, is that tether. After that is going to be bombs. The boss is going to tether or place a bunch of bombs, and the boss will either tether them or not tether them. And they will also tether individual players. The game only shows you if you individually are getting tethered, so all you need to look out for is if the boss is tethering the bombs and if the boss tethers you. Thankfully, even if you miss the tether animation happening on you, there is a debuff that gets applied to you. So you want to make sure you're looking at your debuff bar. I'm sending the image of what that debuff looks like. It looks like 2 scales and some lines in the background. Blue scale, that's all that matters. It's called Reversal of Forces. To simplify this, how this is going to be called is Carter is going to say either tethers to big bombs, because there is going to be big bombs and small bombs. Carter's going to say tethers to big bombs, non-tethered to small bombs, or vice versa. Maybe, or otherwise it would be tethers to small bombs, non-tethers to big bombs. If you want to try to solve this yourself, another strategy to think about this is that if there is 1 tether total, so like if the bombs get tethered and you don't, or the tethered bombs don't get tethered and you do, then you go to small. If you see no tethers at all, or you see tethers on both yourself and the bombs, then you need to go to a big bomb. If you don't understand what I just said, that's fine. You can just listen to callouts and move based on your debuff. Otherwise, you can take a look at that image, the little reference image. It's the 3rd one that's in this big blob that explains what I just explained. After that, or combined with that, the bomb, the knight is going to be doing either a sword omen or a shield omen. If it is doing a sword omen, it is going to have a big AoE happen in the center. If you look at the second image in this big blob of images, the first one shows what shield omen looks like. The boss is going to do a lollipop-shaped AoE where basically it dashes into the center where an orb is and then knocks that orb back, causing a circular AoE opposite of it. So basically how we're going to deal with that is we're going to knock back intercardinally towards the knight. If you knock across from the knight, then it's going to knock you into that AoE it's launching. So you're just going to be not in its path because that dash it does do an AoE. You're just going to knock into like the safe areas that aren't red. And if it does a sword omen, it is going to do a big giant AoE in the center. So you're going to be taking a bomb on the edge of the arena. How Carter is going to call this is she's either going to say knock back from the center or take a bomb on the edge of the arena. So you don't need to worry about if it's a shield or sword omen. Carter will call that out, so you'll know where to move. After that is going to be, it's going to cast the boost. Carter's going to handle that, so you don't need to worry about that. After that is going to be wind, or gravity and light. I'm kidding, though. Wind. There's going to be a purple and a green puddle. One is a swirly green AoE. One is a crackly purple AoE. It's the fourth image. No, it's the fourth image in the big blob of images. If you are tethered, you're going to move to the green puddles, and if you are not tethered, you're going to move to the purple puddles. Right after that, and you don't want to get cross-sectioned because that can kill you. You need to be out in the corners. And after that, there's going to be either a donut happening in the center or a point-blank AoE combined with Ferrostorm AoEs, which are like these cones, 3 spikes on each side. You just need to go either in or out based on if it's a donut or a point-blank AoE, and you're going to need to dodge those spikes. This will just be called as either be in or out and then towards some letter marker. After that, the boss is going to basically loop through that over again, doing the opposite of what it did already. And so, like, if it was a sword omen before, now it's a shield omen, and vice versa. Oh my god, I love those images. Those help for the bombs mechanic. After that, we're going to basically just finish killing those 2 guards, and the next phase is going to start, which is the gunner and the soldier. The gunner is going to be pulled to the center, and Mint, you're going to be pulling the soldier to the west wall this time, not the east wall.
Mint is mids.
Fuck, I mean to say Carter, yeah. You're going to be keeping it in the center, because you're the center. Carter, you're going to be pulling the soldier to the west wall. For this phase, the boss is going to summon these fire frogs. These fire frog AoEs are going to start as balls of fire that are either small or big, and then they are going to turn into frogs and walk somewhere in the arena. Basically, it just means that there's going to be some safe spot somewhere in the arena, either a cardinal or an inner cardinal, and Carter is going to call that out for us. After that, we are going to have to do a I don't even remember which one it is. I think it's like the third Evilise raid, where you have to show a safe spot of your character towards the gunner in the center. There is going to be like 3 like shield things around you, and then 1 like opening. You just need to face that opening towards the gunner, and that gunner is going to be in the center. Yeah, show hole. And then after that, you're going to have to face that opening towards the turrets that are lined up against the wall. The 5th image in the big blob of images that I sent shows that like how it resolves. So first, you're going to face that hole towards the center. Then you're going to face that hole towards the turrets on the wall. Those turrets are going to be like alternating. So there's a set of ones on the left, set of ones on the right. As long as you only face it to 1 turret on the wall, you do not want to be staying in the cross section of those AoEs, or you will just get bodied and die. You don't want that to happen. There's going to also be gun turrets. These gun turrets are going to spawn next to each of the bosses, or going to spawn on the west and the east, and these are going to be picked up by the tanks that are holding the bosses. They'll provoke them, and once they spawn, we're going to kill them. and they are going to cast a ability called like Sniper Shot or something. Basically, these just need to be invulned by the tanks. So Mint and Carter, you two will invuln those turret shots. Sniper Shot, yeah. And then after those sniper shots, or before them if we're fast enough, we're just going to be killing those turrets. Those are going to be DPS priority. We're going to focus those down. After that is going to be jumping ninjas. This is really late. After that is actually either going to be Pyretic or the ice, similar like Seed of Sacrifice, where it's either stop moving or move around in place. If it's Pyretic, if it's fire, you stop moving. If it's ice and your screen gets all frozen, you need to move in place to not get frozen. After that is going to be ninja jumping around the arena. This is kind of just like the memory game where you have to figure out which ones of the ninjas were tethered, and there's going to be a safe spot on which ones that weren't tethered. This is very simple. Carter's going to call out the ones that are safe, and you'll just need to move there to resolve that same show hole mechanic again. And that's pretty much it for the gunner and the soldier phase. Last but not least is going to be the final phase, which is the ethereal wards phase. The guards are all going to be placed in shields on the inner cardinals of the arena, and we need to DPS those 4 wards down. And every so often, they're going to cast Coat of Arms, which puts like directional parry on those shields. So you just need to respect this Coat of Arms, and if you hit it, it's going to knock you back and give you a Doom Stack. So we want to avoid that. A, B, and C are all going to go north, and D, E, and F are all going to go south, as there are these aura spheres north and south that need to be killed. Tanks need to provoke these aura spheres
Lucario?
and invuln them in order to take a tank buster that happens once they die. So we kill the aura spheres, and then the tank takes a shot, basically a tank buster. And while that's all happening, the people who are assigned to reflect are going to be reflecting those spiritual spheres. If I remember correctly, we need to assign other tanks to do those aura spheres, and there's 2 sets of them, so we need 4 tanks. I don't know how people handle this on any progs, because I'm used to them dying so fast.
Just have tanks who have their invulns fight for aggro.
Exactly, that's what it is. So yeah, if you have an invuln, just provoke those auras, hit provoke on those, turn your stance on and hit provoke on those aura spheres, and if you see a spike over your head, you're going to hit your invuln. That's pretty much it. Only thing I really want to note for the ethereal wards phase is those directional parries like to hit you even when you're on the other side of the arena from them, because if you hit a ginormous point blank AoE such as standard step or standard finish or ass eyes, you may hit a stray Coat of Arms and it will just hit you with a bunch of AoEs. So just be careful, be mindful of those shields when you're using big point blank AoEs. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this fight. If you are ready, you can get in front of the C marker. There's no pole range, as you can see by me standing up here. And yeah, that should be it. Carter, you can take it away from here.
Sorry, I almost finished my dinner. QG is the perfect time to go and make dinner, by the way. I will finish you later. First, we gotta kill these bosses. That is, everyone over the purple line. At this time, if you are a tank, you can turn your stance on Mint, hold your provoke. You will hold that until it is time for the, when the 2 bosses come back, you will provoke the middle one. Other than that, tanks fight for aggro on these first few bosses. We don't want our duelists stealing aggro, and we want to pull all of these bosses into a nice big cuddle puddle.
Oh yeah, rending, that's another thing too. I think the renders know what they're doing though, but just alternate, and you can use it at the start. Rend 1 can use it at the start, yeah.
Ooh, go ahead, pull. Get in now. This fight starts us off with a few sets of raid wides. Going to want a running reprisal on these. That is all good.
Oh shit, I didn't use my
And the bosses are going to be jumping away before they can do anything else. We're going to be having warrior to the wall, knight to the middle, warrior to the wall, knight to the middle. And our first tether, click off yellow, apply purple. Click off yellow, apply purple.
I don't know, my party's in middle.
We're going to be getting our first set of bombs. Our only set of bombs. I hope. We're going to be having Sword Omen on the edge of the arena. We're resolving this on the edge, on the edge, on the edge.
Alright, so I'm tethered,
And
I go to a big.
tethers going to large, rest to small. Tethers to large, rest to small on the edge of the arena. Tethers to large, rest to small. Edge of the arena, tethers to large, rest to small. If you fall before your bomb does, walk into where a bomb just exploded and don't get hit twice.
I almost Shikuchi'd into that. I almost Shikuchi'd into a bomb.
Boost incoming, I'm going to dispel that.
Alright, there's no positionals. I don't need to do that.
And double raid wide. Next up, we're going to get the wind and lightning puddles. You're going to want to see if you get a tether in a moment. And check to see if you have a tether. Check to see if you have a tether. Tethers are going to green, rest are going to purple. Tethers to green, rest to purple. Tethers to green, rest to purple. Be ready to collapse in under the knight. And move in under the knight. We are getting out towards D. Out, out, out towards D. And get back in on those bosses. I'm gonna go ahead and cast a spell. And this is the enrage. Kill this one. Awesome, great job. Gunner to the middle, soldier to the wall. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the soldier to the wall.
Oh shit, my pot. Keep forgetting to pot.
And something something, they're turning the frogs into fire. Yada yada. Big balls of fire on DNB. DNB. If you hear me rambling right now, don't worry about it. We are going north. We are going to be going north. Point your hull to the gunner in the middle. Point your hull to the gunner in the middle.
Oh fuck.
Now
Ah,
to any turret along
damn
the
it,
wall.
I thought it went out already. I feel stupid.
Tank buster on those main tanks.
I thought it went out already. But I mean, that's why I'm progging, right? You know?
And raid wide. Next up, we're going to see gun turrets. Main tanks are going to provoke those when they spawn. And we're going to kill those down.
I'm gonna let them grab aggro first.
And press your invul now. Raid wide from both bosses. And kill both bosses.
More on the gunner.
More on the middle. More on the middle, please. And kill both. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. And if you are a tank who has invuln ABC North, DEF South, focus down those aura spheres. Healers get into position for reflex.
Oh, these things die so quick.
Healers get into position for those reflex
Respect
and
coat of
kill
arms.
down the ethereal wards.
Oh, fuck.
Respect coat of arms. Do not get parried.
Oh god, I got parried.
No missed reflex. Yeah, this is better than some re-clears. And respect this coat of arms. Holy shit, it's the god pattern.
All facing towards the center. We love to see it.
Ignore these reflex. Ignore these reflex. Just kill this last ward. We're not going to see them. Don't get hit by any AoEs.
No one's
Nice.
dead. Damn, I think.
Let's go. Great job.
Make sure to
Did
grab
not
these
see-
2 chests.
Oh,
for their
nice,
personal
headgear.
Spoils.
Oh yeah,
So-
be sure to grab 2 chests, by the way.
You get the headgear from the door, I'm
the
pretty
amount
sure.
of runs that I forgot at the beginning of my DRS career where I didn't get both,
Did I get
it's
both? I got
embarrassing.
both. Yeah, I got both.
There were times where I was like, why the fuck do I not have a headgear plating? And I realized it's because I just didn't grab the head chest.
Alright, next boss. This is our next trash boss. This is the Bozja Phantom. Again, another pretty simple fight. Very similar to normal mode. Pretty much, you can just rely on callouts. Not much to explain here other than listen to what Carter says. We are going to be using lost actions in this fight. We are going to be using the lost banish action as well, which is going to give it a big damage up.
Droid.
This boss, it is okay if you do need to
So
take a
good.
break to do something or use the restroom. This is a good time to stand behind the purple glowing line. Otherwise, if you are good to go, you can get in front, right around where we're all standing, as long as you're in front of that purple strip. Give it a couple more seconds. If you don't want to participate, stand behind the purple line. Otherwise, get in front of the purple line. And you give it probably like 30 more seconds, and then once Carter deems she is ready, she can hit a 30-second countdown.
I'm gonna go ahead and start that countdown now.
Again, we're using lost actions in this fight, so do not forget that.
Yes, use your lost actions.
Oh yeah, and
Uh,
twice come ruin. The debuff that you get, the stacking debuff, now is you get two strikes instead of 3. It
Oh,
is called
God, I'm
twice come ruin
fucked.
instead of thrice come ruin. So.
Use your lost actions here. You will be reslotting at TA if you are using the holsters as we have intended for them. And tanks can turn off your stances. I am the main tank again. This is a raid wide.
God, my openers.
That was
fucked.
a check to see if you have your Pures on. If you don't, you'll die. We're going to be going either to A or B, or A or D, A or D. We are going to D. D for D's nuts. Got him. Shut up. It's my joke. There are going to be rings spawning that we are going to follow all the way down the line. There is a ring on every dot on the ground. Do not get caught.
I don't care about uptime. I don't care about uptime. I don't care about uptime.
And do not run into the purple death wall at the end. Stop on the 4-way mark. Stop on the 4-way mark. We're going to wait for one more flash, and we're going to go to 3. Go to 3. Go to 3.
I don't care about uptime.
And we are going to stay here. We're going to stay chilling here on 3. Consider building gauge you might need for TA. We're going to stay on 3 for a little bit.
Damage, we phased.
We're going to wait for 3 flashes on the right, and we're going to move to 4. I'll let you know when it's time to move.
One,
There's 1,
two.
2, and 3. Move to 4. And we're going to wait for 3 flashes back on 3, and then move back there. That's 1,
Two.
2, and that's 3. Move back to 3.
We're not even
Kill,
gonna see
kill
the
boss.
mechanics.
We do not want to see the ads phase. Please do not make me explain what the ads do.
Okay.
Thank you.
So on the ads, basically white ads have to be
There are going to be
healed,
traps
red
up
ads have to
ahead.
be
Do
killed.
not run into them. I am going to be percepting them. Do not run ahead.
I'm RP walking, nigga. I'm not running ahead of anybody. I'm RP
Poison
walking.
trap. Awesome.
Oh, somebody got hit by a poison.
And there are going to be more traps. Down here, there are going to be extra special traps. We need to be extra certain to not touch them. And please, please, please wait for traps to load, because traps do load last.
Be very careful in this hallway. You have to walk around that trap. Do not hit the pink traps. These pink traps are a special tool that are going to help us later. So we do not want to pop them. If we pop all of them, we effectively are soft locked.
Oh boy.
Yeah. The purple traps give you a poison, the orange traps blow up and kill you, and the pink traps make me blow up and kill you. So don't touch them.
All right. Welcome to Trinity Avowed. Starting now, these are going to be slightly more difficult bosses, a bit more complicated, and most importantly, they are going to hit harder. So tanks are now slotting in and applying Lost Shell 2. If you need it, get behind the purple line. Once you have got it, please get in front of the purple line. This just makes sure tanks are not going to have to spend like excessive amounts of time clicking on everyone. Additionally, tanks are going to be using the Lost Ether Shield action. 1 tank per party is going to need to slot this. This was discussed earlier in the instance. If you didn't already, then you can decide now who is the Ether Shield tank. There's holsters specifically designed for who is the Ether Shield tank, so hopefully that you planned that out already. And yeah, so Ether Shield is going to be called out to be used on certain raid wides. Carter is basically just going to say, oh, this is this raid wide. Ether Shield, adults reprisals, anything that helps. And then Shell 2 is just going to keep us safe 15% damage reduction on those on that magical damage. Yeah, so the actual fight. This is probably the hardest fight in terms of not being able to rely on calls. There is a lot of personal responsibility in this fight.
My favorite
A debuff that is given particular to you, and you need to resolve it based on the debuff that you were given. So the caller is not going to be able to help you. You're going to have to be able to do the mechanic yourself. I'm gonna just want to have the guide Trinity. Or
I
TA.
like personal responsibility.
Cool.
Ow,
Wow.
my wrist.
Um,
I hit my wrist.
Yeah,
with my chair.
so Trinity Avowed is split into 3 distinct phases, and they are going to happen twice. The second time they happen, they are going to be more complicated because it is going to introduce this new debuff called Elemental Brand. This is a second temperature you get. You get 1 temperature from the boss, and now you're going to have this second temperature, and you're going to have to do math to figure out what your temperature truly is. For example, if you have a temperature of -2 from the boss, and the boss gives you a 1 fire, your actual temperature is -1 ice, because you have to consider the way the brand offsets your temperature. But thankfully, the first 3 times the boss does its phases, there is no elemental brand. So the boss starts out pretty simple, and then it gets hard later. These 3 phases are the sword phase, the bow phase, and the staff phase. NA education, NA math diff. Yeah, so there's the sword phase, the staff phase, and the sword phase, staff phase, and the bow phase. How these phases are going to work is the boss is going to start out by showing a bunch of weapons and doing AoEs, and that is going to determine the order that the phases happen in. I'm going to start with the sword phase, since it is probably the most straightforward in terms of what it involves. Basically, the boss is going to go untargetable, and there are going to be 4 clones that are all untargetable, and they are going to show swords facing in directions, and each of them has a temperature. So you are going to have a temperature, and you're going to need to resolve that temperature by getting hit by only 1 of these sword cleaves. If you get hit by 2 and they're overlapping, you are just going to die because they apply a vulnerability that makes you get killed by getting hit by 2. So TLDR, you're getting hit by 1, you're not getting hit by 2. And to figure out where you need to stand, the boss is going to orient itself or the clones are going to orient themselves in a way that creates a safe spot, and those safe spots have the respective 4 different places you can go to next to it that corresponds to each of the temperatures. This is more complicated than it sounds, so there is a very nice GIF that is in the blob of images in the chat in DRS Learning 1 right now. That last image, it shows how there are 4 clones. 2 of those clones are going to be facing their swords towards each other. That represents that opposite of that. The tile opposite of those guys, there's going to be a safe spot, and then north, south, east, and west, each one of those is going to be one of those 4 temperatures that you need to stand in. So, what you're going to do is find that safe spot. Carter's going to call that safe spot out. There's going to be markers on each of those possible tiles, so you'll be able to hear her say,
it's
like,
way easier if I do
4
it
is
that
the
way.
safe spot. You're going to walk your character to 4, and you're going to think, okay, I need to either stand on the tile north, south, east, or west of
Yeah,
4
that's
to
a way
get
easier
my
way of
temperature
doing it.
that's going to resolve this mechanic. Yeah, so there's you never want to be intercardinal of that safe spot. If you are intercardinal of that safe spot, that is death. This mechanic can be really tricky to people at first because just visualizing everything can be a bit complicated. But try your best. Next mechanic or next phase is going to be the bow phase. If you remember the that like kind of ladder game, that pipe game that happens on half of the arena, where it does the big giant fire AOE, and then you have those arrows that go down the pipes. It is the same as normal mode. The only catch is that now that path that it traces is not traced for you. You need to trace that down yourself. You may ask, well, how do I trace that down if it's in like this weird zigzaggy fashion? Well, basically how it works is every time one of those arrows hits a possible turn, it's going to take that turn. Because the turns, there's no like left or right, like it's only going like left or it's only going right. There's never like a fork in the path. So if it goes down and it hits like one of those turns, it's going to take that turn. These are 90-degree turns. So if you look at that second to last image in this blob of images, you can kind of see an example of how that path is being traced. If you need to put your finger towards the monitor and trace that path with your finger, more power to you. However you solve it, sometimes you can just use your eyes, sometimes you just need to visualize it with your hand or something, or trace it with your mouse cursor. This is the usual way to solve this. You're going to find the arrow you need to resolve your temperature, visualize the path it's going to take, and then stand in the corresponding tile. If you look at the image above that, there is a cheeky way to do it where basically there is only 2 patterns of how the pipes work. So you can kind of just look at the arrows at the top row, and then each of them corresponds to a tile. So for example, if it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from top left to top right in like that normal pattern, then you can just look at the bottom row and think, oh, it's 4, 5, 2, 3, 1. Obviously, that like saying that out loud is pretty meaningless, but if you look at that image, you can figure out which pattern it is, and then just kind of figure out which one it's going to correspond to. So you see, oh, I need the arrow on 1. I'll go to the tile that corresponds to 1. Since there's only 2 patterns, sometimes callers will call out if it is the normal pattern or the inverted pattern, as it says in the image. I don't know if Carter does that. I like to do it, but it's really kind of just like your mileage may vary. Sometimes you just gotta find it yourself. I'll shout it out because I think about it, even though I never actually do that strat. I just like notice that it's the normal or inverted. And yeah, that's the bow phase. And then the staff phase. The boss is going to summon 4 comets on the edge of the arena, and you're going to need to walk into these comets to get the temperature you need. However, the boss is not just going to let you walk into them freely. You're going to get a forced march debuff, and this forced march debuff you need to use to march yourself to the meteor that you need to get. Now that I think about it, there's also a forced march that happens during bow phase to get into the safe spot for that giant fire puddle, but we'll just call that out when we get there because it's pretty straightforward. And those are all the simple versions of the weapon phases. They all are going to happen again with some extra spice added to them. The swords phase is the one that stays the most similar. Basically, everything's the same except now you have to keep in mind the temperature combined with the elemental brand. So it's just a little extra math you have to do by combining those 2 debuffs, like looking at the temperature the boss gave you and looking at the brand. The first 2 images in this blob will help you with that if it doesn't really make sense to you. The bow phase, yeah, force march moves you equivalent to 2 tiles. The bow phase, now you're going to have to march yourself to that safe spot for the fire, but instead the force march is going to happen during the time when you're actually getting into the safe spot for your arrow. So even though you trace the path down, you also have to figure out how to align yourself with the force march to get to that tile the arrow is going to. So for example, if I need to get to the center tile and I have an arrow that takes me to the right 2 tiles, then I need to get 2 tiles to the left of that arrow tile and get myself marched to it. Yeah, don't forget to wiggle your character.
This is like Bozja gear.
And
all Bozja gear.
Then the staff phase, you will have to march yourself to the meteor instead of the force march taking you. It'll be coming out with some other AoEs, but they're pretty easy. Carter's going to call out where to stand for them. And that's pretty much it. All of the individual mini phases of this fight take pretty long time, so there's a chance we might not even see those elemental brands. I would assume that we are going to, maybe not all of them, so we don't know what mechanics we're going to get, but we'll just assume we're going to see whatever. Other than that, if anyone has any questions about the mechanics, this is, again, a pretty hard fight for first-timers, so it's okay if you need to just, like, stop uptime and just look at your debuffs. Other than that, if you're ready, get behind the C marker, and if you have any questions, please shout them out now before we pull. We need to shuffle parties because of the DC. Was there a DC? I didn't.
Oh, was there? Okay, yeah. OnlyFans also DC'd because their internet went out.
They have an ETA in Discord or something, or are they just gonzo?
Nothing yet.
Rip.
So is there 2 parties that are separately without LB3?
There are 3.
Wait, 3 people are DC'd, or did another person get kicked?
2 people got kicked at the beginning.
Oof. Damn. Well, 46 out of 48, not counting Owen, because it still shows you as in the thing, even if it doesn't show your
Wait,
name.
does it?
Maybe.
Does it?
I think it actually doesn't. Yeah, I think it's only 2
Oh,
parties without
only
LB3s.
Owen. Okay.
Okay, well in that case, I guess if we want to figure out which parties those are, I don't know which ones they are, so it's not really
It
gonna
is
be
my party, party F.
Party F and which other party? Party D. Does D and any vets in D and F know if their party is how many new people are in, or at least like an eyeball? Like, is your party more experienced or more? Because I want to make sure that LB3 goes to the.
I think we have like 4 new people.
I have 2 new people in my party.
All right, and then Wobble. I
I
guess
guess
you're
3.
in D. 3, I think. Okay. Then I'm gonna have someone from Carter's party go to party D. So who are the leaders of D and F?
Yeah, I was gonna say we can send the Flare Star to take Owen's spot.
Okay. Where is
Allison?
Allison. Yeah. Where are they?
Allison.
Allison. I'm gonna go ahead and mark you with a chain. Have party D. Pick up Allison. You leave your party, and then party D is gonna pick you up. Correct? I think that's correct. I wish I could just see
Yes.
the parties in like a sidebar
Yep.
or something.
Allison has left party.
And then did they get grabbed? Allison, come back to the bridge.
Our primal player is mostly West Coast because
Did they get grabbed?
I'm getting kind of tired on this 10-1. Like I'm chilling,
Awesome.
I'm
but
gonna use the restroom in one quick second, and then once we're back, we're gonna get going.
I choked on my juice. Oh, I feel my bones settling from sitting in this position.
All right, I'm back. Hopefully
This arena's cool.
everyone knows what they need to do. So if you're ready, get behind the C marker, just so we all know that you're good to go. Yeah, do not sprint during the forced march. That is a death sentence because you will just go way farther than you want to.
Just waiting on Wobble and Jam.
So, one of the rules in the Ether Discord for this says if you use Lost of Impetus, you will be banned. Lost of Impetus gives the entire party a sprint. So you can use it to troll here, I'm guessing.
Wobble and Jam. Where's Wobble and
Wobble is
Jam?
across, Jam is in the back.
Alright. Earth Jam.
I would really like to have Jam up here, because she is one of my healers, and I do not have a C4.
Where's Jam?
I think they're doing mimic
I'll
stuff.
ping Jam on Discord directly.
Yeah, because one of the people in my party is the Excellence mimic.
Alrighty, went ahead starting a 30-second countdown.
Ba, 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 ba.
This fight does not start us off at the raid wide, so if the tanks could please come stand north with me once we pull the boss. Just gonna do a shared tank buster. It's gonna hit 3 of us. You're gonna press some mitts.
I'm gonna open
and
with
don't forget food
Babakakra.
and reslot actions if you need to. A little late, but
Pot.
Tanks press some mitts. And get ready. Time for Aether Shield and Mitigate. Aether Shield and Mitigate. Duelist has aggro. It's fine, I will call. Awesome, thank you for positioning her for me, Celery. Boss is facing us. We want to be in front of her, so stay in front of the boss.
Nice. Guess
We
that
can
was sword.
position north and away if we need to. We are standing behind her. Stand behind her on the 3 and 2 markers. Stand behind her at 3 and 2. And we are doing staff, sword, bow. Melees can get out at the flash of light. Melees can get out at the flash of light. Which one, you might ask? That flash of light. Get out now.
Oops, fucked up. The delay. Okay, so I'm
And
2.
everyone go ahead, stack up on 3. You are going to get a quick march. There are going to be 4 meteors spawning in the corners, and you are going to
Right
face your
face.
quick march to the corner that will resolve your temperature.
Right face to 2 heat.
You want to solve opposite of your temperature right now, so be sure that you end at 0.
Right face to 2 heat.
Do not agree to this. And get back in, hit the boss. We're gonna have another raid wide.
Buttons, press.
Tanks can go ahead, Aether Shield and Mitigate now. I'm gonna keep the boss facing center. And we're going to stay in front of her. Were traps popped after Phantom? Only the poison one owned. Boss is going to go untargetable. If you don't see a trap there, it was popped. Otherwise, everything else was not. Everything else was presented. Boss is going to go untargetable in a few moments. You're going to get a hot and a cold debuff, and the boss is going to show us some clones. I'll tell you where the save spot is. You need to be a cardinal from that. Save spot 1 is 3. Save spot 1 is 3.
So I need...
Be directly cardinal from 3, or you will die. If you are on 1,
Wait,
you
I
are
need-
dead.
Oh, fuck,
Directly
fuck.
cardinal from 3, not intercard.
Ah, damn it!
Next safe spot is 4. Stay on 4 if you're already at 0, or get hit by a sword to resolve your debuff. If you're on 2, you are dead.
Oh fuck! I
Get
can't.
back into the
I live.
boss, hit the boss. Boss is going to hit us with another Aether Shield and Mitigate moment. And get behind the 3-way mark. Boss is going to reposition center for this next phase. Get behind 3, south of 3.
Gotta put my re-raiser on.
And tanks, go ahead, stand up front with me. She's going to give us another tank buster in a moment. But for now, you're getting a quick march.
Oh, I hate myself,
Plus
dude.
mitigations tanks with me. And we're going to be quick marching either towards Beta or Delta.
Left face.
March towards Beta. BBB Beta.
Hey, stop now. Damn.
You are going to get a hot and a cold. That is all you're getting for now. We're going to see four arrows across the arena from us, and we are going to want to trace the arrows down and get hit by the one that resolves your temperature. The boss is sadly moving. I apologize.
I don't care about uptime.
And get back in on the boss. Grade wide incoming, Aether Shield, and Mitigate. I'm gonna try and pull the boss back center right now.
Oh, I forgot to use. Oh my god, I'm overthinking everything now. Fuck me.
And we are going to be getting out at the flash of light. This is staff 2. At this time, healers, please stop healing. Melees, get out of the flash of light. Out, 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 and get back in. You're gonna get a
Healers,
hot
stop
and a cold.
arising.
Oh yes, stop arising. That was what I was saying. Thank you. Healers, stop arising. Do not LB3 at this point. Healers, stop arising, and do not LB3 at this point. If you do, all of those people are guaranteed to die. You're going to get a hot and a cold. You're going to get an elemental brand, and you're going to walk to one of the 4 meteors that spawn in the corners. Get on 3.
I need 1 hot.
You're going to walk to the meteor that puts you opposite your brand, and we are going to be getting to the north-south edges. North-south edge of those safe spots. North-south edge of those safe spots. And get back in, hit the boss. How's healer LB3 looking?
We're like over half a bar away. Just
Alright, cool. Aether Shield, Mitigate, kill the boss.
Ah, man.
don't forget to heal up party C4s. You are a great healer as a caster. Very nice.
Get in front of the boss, stand on this 3-way mark. 3-way mark. And kill the boss before she does anything else. Good job.
Don't forget to grab that chest, and we're gonna go ahead and arise our dead. Again, to make sure we don't waste arises, only one person try to arise a person at a time. Don't cast at the same time, or else you might waste a charge.
At this point as well, new players, please go ahead and stand back where we had those traps beforehand. I want you guys to stay back with me.
Yep, everyone head towards the south of the arena, back towards where we came from. We're gonna go check out that special tool to help us later, which is now.
What do you mean you don't see traps?
I brought an extra percept. I can probably percept 4.
No, I
No,
think
no, no. I also
whole
have
thing
traps.
isn't
I
loading.
also have percepts.
Still have it on?
I have a percept on. Yes, I brought a second percept for Minnow. Wait, really? That's so funny. Okay, this one's not here.
Somebody could go lead him, maybe?
I am.
I spent all that time practicing that
Did
one
they
mechanic,
disappear?
and I died to it, bro.
All right,
That's
everyone else, you can gather around this pink trap if you're interested in figuring out what this trap does. If you don't care, you can just head north. Just please do not go past the vestibule, I guess, after that pad north of the arena, because we do not want to pop queen. Again, if you're interested in what this mini trap does, we're going to be doing a 5-second countdown, and once this 5-second countdown expires, we're going to be popping this trap, so everyone gather up on it. And wow, we're now mini. That's so
Oh,
cool.
yay!
Why do we get mini? Well, basically there is a secret boss in this instance. In order to defeat the queen. The queen currently is buffed with a buff called Royal Favor.
I'll take
Royal
one.
Favor buff. Oh, sorry.
Nothing. Sorry.
Oh. Oh yeah, we might want to reshuffle the parties or something so you can figure that out. Yeah, so this mini buff is going to let us get into this grate after the pad. We can slip between the grates because we are mini. That's so cool. And then this secret boss is the Minotaur, or the Stygian warrior. Or Stygian Lord? Yeah, Lord is the fucking boss. Warrior is the duel. Yeah, so
Just go in.
when you're a mini, you can slip between the grate. Wow, that's so cool.
Wait, can I?
And once you walk forward a bit, the grate
Oh.
falls. Wow, that's so cool. It's not actually that cool. And yeah, now we get to go into the basement where the Minotaur lives. There are traps, so be very careful.
Wait
God,
for me,
I've never
guys!
been mini in so long. This fucking sucks, actually. I'm so slow.
Go mini with
There's a boom
Ninja.
trap on the bridge. Be careful.
Really fun.
All right, and welcome to Minotaur. I'm gonna wait a quick sec for everyone to get here. Hopefully no one got lost. Yes, these are our setup markers. If you have the Dispel in your holster, head to the D marker to show that you have Dispel. If you have an excess of light curtains, or for some reason the Reflect action, you shouldn't be bringing that, you can stand on the B marker. If you have both Dispel and an excess of light curtain, you can stand between the D and the B marker. It looks like our Minotaur tanks have already sorted themselves out. These 4 people are going to be tanking the ads of this Minotaur fight. But yeah, how does this fight work? So, is there a... Where's the text guide for this? Guide, Minnow?
Guide Minnow.
Yeah, so... Minnow is also a trash fight, but it is probably the most daunting of the trash fights because it has some pretty unique mechanics. So, the boss itself, the Minotaur, it kind of has like a kind of filler phase until like the boss hits 70%. It's just going to do these like really easy mechanics. And then once the boss hits 70%, it is going to go into its ad phase. The arena is going to get a bunch of purple goop on the floor on the places where there is like dark blue tile. The places where there is like light blue tile is going to be like safe little like rings. And 4 Minotaurs are going to spawn on the inner ring. And these need to be pulled and then tanked and kited in a circle around the outer ring. The reason they're tanked in the outer ring is because it makes the Minotaurs walk in the purple, and the purple slows down the Minotaurs. Additionally, the Minotaurs are going to place traps after a certain short period of time, which are going to cause like this like purple confusion effect on the floor, kind of like Kefka. If you remember like the mystery effect, that's kind of what the floor is going to look like, and that's going to place traps on the floor. The tanks are going to do people have tanks help them on the any progs, or we just have tanks pop their own? All the tanks.
I mean, if anyone needs an off tank, they can get one.
Yeah, if any of the 4 tanks need a tank to help them pop the traps, just shout out now. Otherwise, you can just pop them yourself. I'll keep explaining though. If they want that, they can just yell in the shout chat or yell chat. Yeah. So the ads phase for the tanks is mostly just kiting these Minotaurs around in the circle. For everyone else, you're basically going to be heading south once this ads phase start, right where that C marker is in the last image that I sent.
Oh, shit.
And how it works is there is going to be a couple mechanics that you have to do. They're basically fairly simple mechanics. The scariest part is just how close in proximity you are to the death wall at any given time. So you need to be careful and you need to watch your step. The first one is going to be what we call there's actually other stuff that goes on in the inner ring, but I'm going to explain the outer ring first because this is where everyone that is not a healer with Dispel or Reflect is going to go. All the DPS are going to go to the C marker in that little cubby in the image, and there's going to be a debuff that you get, which is either going to pull you towards the boss in the center or push you out. So how to resolve this is you basically need to stand in those little notches in the ring. If you have the one that looks like a guy getting pushed away or falling down the stairs, that is the Wanderer's Push, or the Wanderer debuff, Wanderer's Fate, and that pushes you away from the boss. So you need to be on the inner cubby. If you have the one that looks like he's sucking a bunch of lines into his mouth, that is the Sacrifice's Fate, and that one you need to get pulled towards the boss, so you go on the outer cubby. We will say very lovingly, do your word, do your word, do your word, because these are called fateful words, and they're your debuffs that you need to resolve, or you're just going to get pushed into the death wall and instantly die. That would suck. We don't want that. Another mechanic is going to be Devastating Bolt. These are just purple lightning. This is in the first image in the chat. Those purple rings, they're just a lightning ring. You just need to get into a cubby to be safe from it. And there's also going to be Rending Bolts. These are just baited AoEs, so you just need to move your feet, watch your feet, and don't get hit by them. For the inner ring, all of the healers who said that they had Dispel and Reflect, you're going to go to the inner ring instead of the outer ring when the ad phase starts, and there is going to be all of the same mechanics I mentioned before, except you don't need to worry about the traps because they only spawn in the outer ring. And you're going to be dispelling the earth orbs that spawn and reflecting the fire orbs when they spawn. One earth and one fire spawn in each wave, and they spawn opposite of each other. So you just need to dispel the earth orb and then tap it once with like a Dia or like any attack. Really, it only has like 500 HP, so anything you do to it, like you can breathe on it after you dispel the stone skin buff it has, and it will die. And for the fire orbs, you just need to it's going to cast Mana Flame, and you just need to reflect that, and it will kill it. Yeah, and if you're on the inner ring and there's a fire orb near you, you want to make sure you're on the side of the notch that's away from it, because you can get hit by the fire orb while doing the in and out mechanic or the notch mechanics. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All the stuff that happens after the ads phase is super simple, and we can just call it when we get there. So if everyone's ready, you can get near I guess you can go ahead and place the markers now. And you can take it away from here.
Alrighty, let's get this going. Go ahead, step on the 3-way mark if you are ready. Alrighty, and I'm gonna go ahead and start a 30-second countdown. Actually, no, I'm doing like 15.
Yeah, another thing to note is please hold your burst windows, hold all your lost actions, and hold all of your, just do baby openers, just roll your GCD, hit your combo GCDs, don't burn any resources until we get to ads phase. Ads phase is when we want to start using lost action.
And pop your knockback mitts now. Don't get whacked. Don't get whacked. Move in to dodge these cones.
Swing is out. I know that much.
Get out, 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 and away. Sorry. And get back in. Get to the notches. Get to south if you are a DPS. To the inner ring if you are a healer. It is time for ads phase. Tanks get into positions. Pull your ads. You know what to do.
Well, these things die quick. Okay. Stay
Burn
here.
those ads down. Tanks get to your next notches. And wait for this to flash. Pop your invulns. Run through. You have your words, get into your positions, do your words, 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 don't get God. This has been your daily word check. Congratulations. Get into a notch to not get hit by the lightning. Get into a notch to not get hit by lightning.
That nigga getting it, bro. Look at him.
And We have
your feet,
one
watch your
ad
feet,
left.
watch your feet, watch
Don't
your
get
feet.
hit by orange.
He's getting it in the middle. I don't
Just
know
killed
what
this
he's hitting,
last
but he's
ad
hitting it.
left.
He's hitting that shit.
And free buff culling. There are no fire orbs out.
This debuff will not go off.
Yeah, this one doesn't go away. This is a raid wide. Healers, you can go ahead and start arising people. The rest of this phase is not very scary, and we want them to be able to have gauge for Queen. Rapid bolts, take these out and away. Take these out and away. Do not stack these on other people. Out, out,
Oh,
away.
fuck.
11-ton swing. Out, out, and away. Get back in.
Oops.
Rapid
That me?
pulse once more. Take these out and away.
I don't care about Tenchi Jin, bro. No uptime. We phase.
Crushing hoof. Half the arena away. Don't get got. Get back in and dodge the wax. You cannot outrange these. Don't get whacked. And don't get whacked.
Is he gonna suck us in?
Continue to kill the boss.
I know it took you a lot of restraint to not say, don't be like Cam
Hey,
Cause.
listen, I know. Anyways, there's gonna be a tank buster on me. Get away from me.
Where's me? Oh, I was about to say. Where's me?
Think about building gauge for Queen.
Oh yeah, build any gauge you might need for Queen. We want those openers to be big and beefy. Get back in. Don't get whacked. I didn't call knockback minute. I'm sorry. I like haven't called Minnow properly and not shitposted in a while. It's fine. Kill the boss.
Easy. Damn. Looks like all the arises are out of the way. Don't see anyone dead. We're gonna
Good
keep
job.
on moving. Grab that chest. That is the last plating chest. You have now got one of every plating. If you have not, I'm sorry, you have missed a chest. I don't know if you can go back for which ones at this point. But yeah, we're gonna take this pad. No beautiful markers on our pad journey to Queen.
Is it one plating per haste
Yeah,
gear?
so we're gonna go ahead and pop that Queen cutscene. That Queen cutscene is
watching
the
it.
same as normal mode, so
Never
if you
mind.
don't really care, you can skip it now.
I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd get here
Here we
tonight.
are at the last boss of Deluvum Regine Savage. How cool. I don't like these markers at all.
These
Yeah.
are crazy. I hate these.
If it's one plating per gear, then that's fire. Because now I have a
Yeah,
full
let's
set of
just
haste.
not do these markers. Yeah, that's what we love to see. Yeah, so our physical battery for this fight is gonna be heart. Go ahead and mimic them. The Cartesian plane. Yeah. Welcome to the Queen. The Queen is the last boss of the instance. Like Trinity Avowed, this boss hits hard, and thankfully it is not anywhere as difficult for first timers as Trinity Avowed was. This boss thankfully has a lot of stuff that can be called for you. So as long as you listen to the calls and take a deep breath and just do your best, you will come out on top. Awesome fight. A lot of it
Everything has
is
left me.
recapped from Queen's Guard. The boss uses a lot of mechanics that you will recognize from Queen's Guard. Yeah, so again, ether shields and shells are going to be needed here. Those are going to keep us healthy. And this is the fight where your light curtain comes in handy. I will mention where it's used later, but for now, just keep in mind that you might want to go ahead and put your light curtains on your hotbar or somewhere easy to access. Do not click it, it is going to use it. Dispels are also used here by the healers. The boss is going to cast something on itself that's going to need to be dispelled, and the more healers doing it, the safer we are going to be. And we are also going to need, Carter, I assume you're going to need someone to help you tank, or are you going to do the
No.
Blood Rage thing?
I didn't know you could do that
I'll
for
do
lost
it.
action.
I have
I
a
don't-
skill in my bag
I
too.
didn't. Cool, okay.
That would have made the
Yeah,
deals way
so
easier.
Carter is going to be solo tanking this whole fight, so it's going to be easy peasy. We don't need to have any tank swaps. Cool. Yeah, so this boss is going to start out with a very straightforward but quite fast chest style mechanic that is just going to be cross AoEs from guards, kind of like in normal mode. Carter is going to use these markers to call out safe spots. Unfortunately, it can be on any tile on the board, so the way we circumvent that is we are going to be calling these markers using both the intersection of both markers. So you see where she's standing right now? That is A4. Carter will say A4 to refer to that tile.
Okay, we're playing
if you look
chess.
at where Wobble is, that is the C4 tile. That means you will be going to C4. So by utilizing this grid type marker system, we can call out tiles that you need to stand for the chess 1 mechanic. It is also combined with a North Swain strike, which is those orange lines that become expanding AoEs. So we're going to use that to dictate which cardinal we are going to do that chess 1 mechanic on. Chess 2 is super chess. That mechanic is going to be a downtime mechanic, and you're going to have to resolve debuffs with a number over your head. There are 3 different debuffs, combination of debuffs that you can get that sum up to either 5, 6, or 7. I'm gonna go ahead and do what I should have done, like, already, and type guide queen. Yeah, there we go. So that first image shows what chess 1 looks like. It's going to be those North Swain's AoEs, and then we're going to need to stand in safe spots to dodge those cross and line AoEs. The third image shows what the chess debuffs look like. They add up to either 5, 6, or 7. Carter is going to call where the 5, 6, and 7 need to stand in the arena, corresponding to that image above the second image that we sent. It says those are the corresponding calls. So if she says back unsafe, those are the tiles she's going to call. If she says side unsafe, both unsafe, both safe, respectively, it's going to be those safe spots. She's going to say where to stand, but that kind of gives you an idea of how we're going to position. And once you get in those spots and the debuffs stun you, then you're just going to be walking your debuff along the wall. Carter will say the column you need to walk on. You're just going to walk those back. And if a pink spike appears over your head, that means you walk too far. You need to take a step back to not get doomed. I don't have an image of what the pink spike looks like, but I know it's a sticker on a server. I know it's on one of the EU servers. There it is. Yeah, if this thing appears over your head, it means you need to walk backwards because you're
damn, that is a
overwalking
crazy
your debuff,
marker.
and it is going to give you a doom if it stays on your head for too long. Yeah, some vets may also mark a 5, 6, or 7 over their head. If you see that and you know you're the same number as them, go stand with them, and you can easily get to the spot you need to start in. Jeez, it's so high res. Yeah, so that's super chess. The boss is also going to use these mechanics called relentless plays. Relentless plays are basically a
Look
queen
at this
doing
marker, bro.
Queen's Guard mechanics with some extra spice to them. Relentless Play 1 is basically going to be North Swain's Glow is going to send us towards one of the cardinals, and you're going to have to do those wind and lightning puddles from earlier, combined with showing your hole to the gunner in the center. So it's a little complicated, but it's pretty much just resolving it the same way you would for Queen's Guard. So just make sure you're positioning your hole towards the gunner. The only catch is that the gunner is going to be on the 1 marker, is going to be on the 1A tile now, aka the northwest always. So instead of facing your whole center, you're now facing it towards the northwest and then facing it towards the wall just like before. Relentless Play 2 is going to be basically getting knocked back. It's a downtime mechanic, and the boss is going to do that shield omen where it does a knockback from the center, and we're going to get knocked back in a certain way that avoids a queen doing a big half room cleave. Relentless Play 3 is going to be those ping pong turrets from normal mode, where basically it just shoots them around in the big pattern. And it's also going to have a knight bait one of those donuts or those point blank AoEs on a player. It's going to place that guard somewhere, and we're going to need to either get away from it or stay close to it. Relentless Play 4 is going to be those bombs with the tethers from before, but it's going to be combined with the boss doing a knockback. It's that like giant I don't even know what it's called. It just does a knockback.
The blue line, you can knock back it.
Yeah, and you need to get knocked back to the bomb that you need to take, and it's also combined with the freeze and the Heaven's Wrath. That's what it is. It also will be doing a freeze and a pyretic, which is the fire and ice. So you need to like either stand still or move around in a circle. And then Relentless Play 5 is just the soft enrage. That's the end of the fight. Those are all of the Relentless plays. There is also going to be God Save the Queen. That is going to happen twice in the fight, and the Queen is going to charge a duty gauge up to 100, and once it hits 100, it's going to go ding. And once that happens, the Queen is going to buff itself up with buffs that need to be dispelled. So healers are going to dispel, and Carter's going to call that out. Carter's going to say, ding, use your light curtains and dispel the boss. And everyone, once they hear that ding, they need to pop a light curtain and stand on one of the lightning orbs. 5 lightning orbs are going to spawn around the arena. You just need to pop a light curtain and stand on it. If you do not have light curtains, or if you don't pop it in time, you can actually stand away from the lightning orbs, and then once they explode, once they get reflected, they become a dome shield that you can stand inside to protect yourself from an AoE. That's pretty much it. Most of it's just recap, so if you listen to calls, it'll be pretty familiar. Is there anything else you can think of, Carter, that we should probably mention calling-wise?
No, nothing that I can think of. If these markers seem confusing to you, pull up your minimap and make it so it will not close during combat. I find that helps orient myself in the arena, as far as the grid stuff. But other than that, no. Also to note, I will call the intersection of the tiles, but if I ever call something like just a flat marker, so if I ever say 4, or if I ever say stack on 3, I mean the marker. Other than that, go ahead, stack on the 4 marker. And we can go ahead and get going. Yes, and at this point, tanks, please be sure the main tank in your party has Aether Shield on, and you are good to go. And that is everyone across the purple line. I am going to go ahead and start a 30-second countdown.
All right, here we go. Last thing standing in between me and the mount.
Yep, refood if you need to.
I didn't expect to get this far, to be honest with you.
And reapply re-erasers if you need to.
Alrighty, and this fight is going to start us off with a raid wide. Tanks, go ahead, hit Aether Shield and press those mitigations. We're going to start off with soft chess. Let's just aggro and we'll poke that out.
These effects. I don't be able to see the pieces.
Okay. Nice. Okay, awesome. We are going to be standing on the back half of the B tile. Back half of B, back half of B.
Center safe.
And we are safe where we are. B and center are both safe. Boss is going to do a tank buster on me. But I don't really give a shit. I am a paladin. Alrighty, and we are going to get into a raid wide. Aether Shield and Mitigate. And we are going to get into Super Chest 1. We're going to go ahead and get into Super Chest 1. A blue glowing tile is going to spawn on either A or D. I will tell, or 1 or 4. 1 or 4. I will tell you where we are going to be starting. We're going to be starting north. Start on the north end. We have back safe. We have wall safe. We have
What?
6s to the corner, 7s to C1, 5s to 3, 6s to the corner, 7s to C1, 5s to 3. And go ahead, move up the D column, move until the numbers above your head disappear.
Oh, shit.
If you see a scary pink gash, stop moving, move back a tile.
Fuck. I almost fucked it up.
And go ahead, end up in that safe tile, end up in the safe tile up on 4. If you are going to die, die in the safe tile. It is better to die in the safe tile and get re-raised there so you don't die to the AoE outside. With that said, get ready to do reopeners. Tanks, get ready to go ahead, press those mitts. We're going to have a heavy hitting raid wide. And God save the Queen. Aether Shield and mitigate.
I don't care about overcap. Oh, and damage. I could have used my actions a little bit later.
And we are going to go ahead and just stay stacked up here for a little bit and pop those light curtains now. Pop your light curtains now. Pop those light curtains and stand under an orb. If you do not have a light curtain, do not stand under an orb. Wait for those to get popped and get under any dome.
Can I max melee? Right, I can.
And good job dispelling. We're going to get into Relentless Play 1. I'm going to be pulling the boss in a certain direction. There's going to be some tethers going out. Check to see if you have a tether. Tethers are out now.
Oh, I'm good.
And which direction are we going?
I'm going full downtime.
We're going south. Go south. Go south. Tethers to wind. Rest to lightning. Show your hold to the gunner at B2. Hold to the gunner at B2.
Fuck. Fuck.
And to any turret on the wall.
Oh no! I wasn't standing. Oh my god, I'm stupid.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I pressed my DR too late. I need to slot my
I was not paying attention.
Alrighty, and hold your 2 minutes. The boss is going to go untargetable in a moment. Hold your 2 minutes. Hold your 2 minutes.
Oops. Oh, gotta use cassettes now. Oops.
Boss is going to go untargetable in a moment. We are going to be getting knocked to a safe spot. I will tell you where that is.
It'll be up.
Alrighty. Very easy pattern. We are getting knocked towards B1. Towards B1. Here. And we are going to be getting to D2. D2, tiny triangle here at D2. Tiny triangle here at D2. And get back in on the boss. Gonna have another raid wide. Aether Shield and mitigate.
With those 2 minutes.
Rip your 2 minutes, burn, burn, burn. We are not going to kill her before Super Chest 2, but it will help. We might actually. What the fuck? She's dying.
I'm just pressing damn. I'm just pressing buttons, bro.
And kill her if we can.
Let's go!
That's very
Nice.
funny.
Let's
Great
go!
job. And we have only 2 dead. It looks like that's a very good. That's a very good run.
Fuck the cutscene.
Good
I've
job
seen
to
it
our
before.
healers. And thank you all for coming. Great run. God, I slotted that lost font of skill for nothing.
That's pretty funny. I have a keybind for. I set a keybind for my expand my chat box to show the whole screen, but I already forgot what my keybind for that is. Log Windows zoom control. There we go. Okay, looks like we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I count 12 achievements that popped up for me. Pretty cool. Fun
Well,
times.
Great job to all
Hell
of
yeah.
you who came.
Get my chest.
We'll probably be hosting in this slot going forward. So if you want more runs, or you want to direct your friends to a run that clears well and clears efficiently, send them our way. We'd love to have them. Other than that, we're not holding you hostage at this point. Go ahead, grab that last chest. That will give you a. What is it? It gives you a. Save the princess. It gives you a guaranteed box drop for one of your pieces of gear, for that haste gear.
Oh, nice.
And it will also give you
Is that what this is?
frags. I don't
1
know.
deception, 7 loss.
Thank you, Wubble.
Wait, 7 lost? I only got 5.
Fucking mogged.
Wait, you get a random amount of loss?
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the 2 earlier fights. That's why you have 7 loss. It's 5.
Yeah, you get 5
right.
loss,
Yeah.
1 deception, a guaranteed minion that I have 143 of, and a random orderly
That
runner's
one?
secret.
Oh, I want this one.
You can also get your mount from the achievement menu, or you can go talk to Jonathan in Gridania. I think he's probably a little bit lonely.
I had to talk to
Um,
Jonathan
yeah.
once to get a ring.
Yeah.
What I was cooking was not good though, so. Rip.
Were you trying to get this ring that fucking reduces like
It was the
something?
This shit is
durability
clean.
one. Yeah, I don't think it does anything,
This shit is clean.
honestly. You don't lose much durability in Bozja anyway.
Yeah, don't worry. We theorized some evil. Listen, we theorized some evil shit, and if it worked, tank parsing was doomed.
What was it?
We were going to have it so
Oh, the break the your
you
armor. and
die
the
in the
regular-
middle of Queen. Have someone sack you, so it breaks all your gear, so you can reflect an orb entirely naked.
All right. Damn, that was a pretty good run. The time it took was like I think like a little over 2 hours. Not too bad.
2.5. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I try to
thank
cut
you
my
guys for coming.
explanations. I try to cut my explanations down on TA and Queen. So hopefully those were still good without cutting anything important. I don't know if people prefer the longer ones like TS and QG or the shorter ones like TA and Queen.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Where's my
Either. I
achievement?
don't know either because I don't ever explain this content. That's why I'm here to learn how to explain it better.
I mean, I do a lot of any
Yeah.
progs, but I also see everything from the top down, so I really don't
They said
know.
go talk to the dude in Gridania as an
Thank you
option.
for
I
the
don't even know you
calls.
could do that.
Good night.
Of course. Have a great one, you guys.
Thank you for
I am
Thanks for
also
coming.
going to hop out.
definitely.
Fine.
I'm
Thanks for
glad I got my
the
thoughts clear.
Thanks for letting
yeah.
me do this, and thanks for letting me fucking wall on QG.
Dude, that was so funny. I was like, Rip Bozo. Did you
you carry?
Yaten?
Yeah, no, I thought I had the right angle. I absolutely did not have the right angle to survive that. It didn't matter, my fucking fop got buff cold. That was evil.
That's funny. Yeah, but thanks for coming, everyone. It was a lot of fun.
Peace.
We're gonna be hosting.
That shit was fun, man. Now I forgot where the achievement guy is. I know he's in Old Gridania, but I forgot where that nigga is. Nobody goes to him. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. All right, I'm gonna leave the alliance. Yo, that was fun as fuck. I'm gonna pull up for another one. Real talk. I think I actually, cause I don't know if you need multiple of the gear pieces. I think you only need one. So, I mean, I guess I can go for glam on like other jobs. I kind of want the tank outfit, cause the tank outfit is the judge outfit from Tactics, and if you played FF12, it's Gabrant's outfit. So, I really want that. I need FF12 everything. Was it him? Achievement certificate. I don't care about this. 166 certificates. All right, let me get my mount. Woo! There it is. There it is. All right. I'm gonna head back to Genova, and I'm gonna use it. Let's head back to Genova. Did I win? Unfortunately, we wiped on the last boss. Yeah, it was unfortunate. But I mean, I got a lot further than I thought I would though. But and you know, like, you know, no matter what, like I got gear for Bozja, like going in. Now I have like, I think I have all the haste gear now. So that's pretty cool. See, again, I don't remember if it's multiple plates per piece. But if it's one each, I have all the haste gear now. So that's gonna make doing Bozja stuff a lot easier. And then actually, I mean, going back into like DRS, it's gonna make that a lot easier too. You know what I mean? I mean, assuming I don't die on swords like I did. So, you know. So, but it was fun. You know, I'll do it again. Their next run is March 28th. What day is that? Actually, I can just see. 7 days. So Wednesday night. Yeah, that's super convenient. Yeah, I might keep running with these guys. You know, primal players know how to do it. I like primal players. They're all right with me. Did I win? Of course I won! Yeah! Yeah! I won! Yeah! Look at it! I won! That shit was crazy. I literally stopped like caring about rotation. I was just doing mechanics at the end. I won! Look at this motherfucker, man. Look at him! Look. I'm not fucking with the head on the right. Look at him. He's pulsating. Yeah, head on the right is angry, or left. Yeah. This mount is fire, bro. I didn't know it was a 4-seater. In addition to its immense strength and 3 gaping maws lined with razor-sharp fangs, this void scent boasts incredible longevity, having lived since the 3rd Astral Era. The collars of elegant design are believed to make it as tame as a puppy, though it may simply be biding its time before devouring its keeper. Yeah, they were cool. I like the way the collar called. Now I mean, I'm sure it's homogenized for like new players because it was in like a new player run. But she was really easy to understand. I like that. And then the guy explaining the mechanics. Even though I ran through like 5 food because we were in there for like 2.5 hours. I like the way they break it down. Like they give you like a run through and kind of explain what every mechanic is gonna look like, and then you just pull and see them. And the caller calls. That's convenient. Droid, you gotta do it, bro. You're next. You are next. I'm actually gonna head to Gangos. This mount is fire. I'm about to use this for a while. So, is it a supplier? Oh. Wait, then what are the plates for? This is the body gear, right, for augmentation. I don't know what the plates are for. Oh, I get it. Okay, I get it. Okay, so wow, so I need to do 10 runs if I'm just unlucky. Okay, so if you finish the whole thing, you get a guaranteed haste gear. One piece of haste gear. And I'm guessing at one point this was like best in slot. Wait a minute. How does this shit work? So I need to get 2 gold coins. I need to get 2 gold coins and buy that. Then I need to turn in the gold coins gear and the Bozjan gear with the respective orderly runner secret. And then I can turn that in for haste gear. So I got the body gear. What does this shit look like? What the hell? Wait a minute, is that the... Is that one of the judges from 12? I think it is. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I did not think it was going to be what it actually ended up being. I thought it was going to be like a full set, but at least I can get the body gear. So I just have to run it at minimum 5 times, and then at most I have to run it 10 times to get everything. That's pretty cool. Okay. Let me appraise these. I'm taking a screenshot. I got them. Gambler. Plus Dervish. And Divine. What does Divine do? Oh, I'm missing one! Fuck you! What's Gambler do? Increases evasion by 11, crit rate by 77, and direct hit rate by 77. Okay. Interesting. Then Divine increases defense by 25, damage up by 35, and maximum HP by 100%. And then Sacrifice, that's okay. I'm missing one action, and then I'm done. Alright, well that was fun as fuck. I'm gonna like rest my eyeballs, because they hurt a lot. That shit was fun. I'm gonna do it again next week, for sure. For sure. So, alright. Peace. I'm gonna go do donuts on my dog.